Welcome in to the Field of 68, Day 3, live from San Antonio for the Final Four. We're finally, 24 hours away from a star-studded Final Four. Looking forward to the games. We've got a star-studded lineup. Jerome McNeil, Baylor coach, national champ, knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to the Final Four. Yeah, you'll show the camera. National champ. And Rob Doster is here. Coach, thanks for being here. Obviously, some first-time coaches in their first Final Four. Just kind of take us through the week and the emotions and just getting ready for all of that comes with the Final Four.
Well, I think first the media sessions are a little bit bigger, and the attention and the excitement is a little bit obviously the pinnacle of the sport. The great thing is every coach can do it different, but I think a couple things stay the same. One, you want each player to play for the team. So no matter what the outside pressure is from family, agents, friends, it's about winning. 2 games from winning a championship. And the second thing is making sure the business side is the business side. So when you're locked in on scouting report, practice time, getting your rest, eating right. Now, as far as the extra time, do you want them to enjoy a little bit? I think that's each and every coach makes kind of that decision.
Coach, just speaking on that as well, too, can you talk a little bit just about the demands of, sort of the hoopla playing in the Final Four in these situations? Because, like you already kind of spoke to it with it being so much extra media and so much extra coverage around this time of year. What did you do to kind of protect your team, make sure guys stay focused on the task at hand, but at the same time you want them to
our job, I mean, we put them in a bubble, so nobody nobody got to us.
You had it easy that year.
Yeah, that thing
or not really, because
but at the end of the day, everybody's on their phone. And the distraction part of that, just answering text messages, tickets, requests, and then just the pressure knowing, like, if this game can make or break you, a lot of people might tell you. And really, it's not about that. It's playing for the person to your right and left, playing for each other, doing what you do. That alleviates the pressure. We call it playing for an audience of 1 at Baylor. But if you do what got you there, then you're going to be great in the moment. It's the extra noise that makes you do things that are uncharacteristic, which hurts you and the team.
So we got 4 hats up here, Coach. One of them is a member of the conference that you're in, the Houston Cougars. We've seen what they can do defensively. We know how good they are. I think it's 32 of the last 33 games they've won. They haven't lost a game in regulation since the second day of the season. How are they so good? And
they got us a couple of them, too.
Oh, I know.
do you wish they would go back to the American? Yeah. Just take them back, AC. Come on, man.
What makes the program that Kelvin has built, though, so good?
Well, I think first and foremost, this team might be the last like it from the standpoint a lot of 4th, 5th, 6th years. So you're not going to have the COVID anymore. And with that, with the transfer portal the way it is, I don't know if you'll ever coach anybody for 5 or 6 years ever again. And so with that, clearly this is their culture. And defensively, you can't turn it over. And in the ball screen defense, the post defense, when you cross half court, that's what they make you do. So, but talent that's been together and has the experience, you might not see that ever again.
You mentioned the ball screen defense. Just can you elaborate a little bit on what makes the way that they play it unique?
Yeah, that ball screen defense, they get you in there, they foul you, and then they get the ball. But it's really aggressive, and because the guys have played in it for so long, they know the rotations, and we call them self-inflicted wounds. I mean, they don't make mental mistakes. When you've run it, been in the system, and done it for 4, 5, 6 years. Now they got Milos, who's new, but most of us, you have a bunch of new guys and one guy that might have been there 2 or 3 years now. So that experience is huge. And with Duke, I mean, Duke, they beat us, and obviously they're really good. The one thing Houston has on their side, they've played a lot of close games.
Yep.
And you look at Duke, they have not. So a close game, as a head coach, you want to know that last play or two, what you're doing. They have the experience in that, and the players know exactly what they're doing. Where, I mean, Duke, they usually know what they're doing. They've subbed in everybody at that point.
Let's talk about Duke, because obviously you guys had a lead 24-23. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a game that, could go down to the wire. And I think obviously Duke was able to do what they've done, and they've created separation. Like, how do they do it? Like, they create so much separation, even in a game that looked close. They did it against Louisville. Like, what gives them the ability to create separation the way they do?
Well, I think first and foremost in our game, North Chadomir picked up his third foul.
That hurt.
And
That hurt.
With us losing Josh Ojawuna, when you have one big and then you got your other big with 3 fouls in the first half, not a recipe for success. And then that's when that 17-point deficit occurred. But how that happened is Duke does a great job putting pressure on the rim, and they have so many offensive weapons. They put you where you are in foul situations. And the great thing about them, if you're coaching that team, they get stops on the defensive end with their size and length, and they're a lot more physical than people think. I mean, everybody knows Houston's physicality. Coach Shire's done a great job with Duke. They are really a physical team, a long team, and they get a lot of easy baskets because of that defensive end.
Yeah, and I think you made a great point right there. I think they're one of the teams. Can you speak specifically just to some of the positional size that they have and how long they are? And, you're going to get past the first wave eventually, but when you got the Malawach's guys coming over and Cooper Flag flying around, even the Proctor and Knippel aren't little guards.
Well, it starts with James up top. I mean, he's 6'5", and that at a point of attack, that's physicality, size, length, and then what is it, 6'5" or 6'6", 6'5", and then 6'7", and then you got 6'10" and 7'1".
Yep.
I mean, that's NBA size.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then again, a lot of youth, but they don't play like freshmen. A lot of physicality with those guys, and a lot of it's credit to the high school coaches they had, the NBA academy they had, and then Coach Shire and the staff done a great job developing it. But normally freshmen, even if they're well-versed, might not have the physicality, and they do.
Look who actually showed up for work today.
Hey, nice to see you.
We got a special surprise for you.
Hey! How you doing, Coach Tag? Hey, Coach Tag been busy. He's been speaking, nations of coaches. He's been working. So, all right, now we got to talk nice about Jeff now that he's here. Is that right? All right, so,
If you want to, I have no problem dumping on him here for a little bit. So the year that you won the title, I love the way that roster was built because you were top 5 nationally in 3 things: defensive turnover rate, offensive rebounding rate, and 3-point shooting. And the reason I love that, you maximize the number of possessions that you get during a game, right? The possession advantage. And then you do the thing that is the most efficient shot in the sport better than anybody else. How do you replicate that? Was it intentional building a team that way, or did it just kind of turn out, hey, you know what, we're good at these 3 things?
I think every coach wants to build a team that way, but it's getting everybody then to be on the same page. And with us, that year you talked defensively, Davion Mitchell, a.k.a. Off Night, Defensive Player of the Year, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. Mark Vital, a.k.a. The Villain, top 5 Naismith Defensive Player. Jared Butler, he didn't get a defensive nickname. He was busy knocking down shots on the other end, but he was top 15 defensively. Coach Tang, who just popped in, did a great job getting everybody on the same page. And with that, they had all been together. They knew the rotations. They knew what we were looking for defensively, and very similar to Houston in that form and fashion. And we were a really good offensive rebounding team, very similar to Houston, where you maximize your possessions, because if you can't score on the first shot, the second one's better, and the third one's even better. So I think that's something that will benefit Houston. And that physicality, and everybody talks about it, they don't talk enough about the 7'6" wingspan either. They got a lot of frontline guys with long wingspans.
So you mentioned the transfer portal earlier, and I am really genuinely curious how you feel about this. One of the guys playing for Houston, LJ Cryer, was a part of your program and ended up transferring out. You're here now and you're watching him play in the final. Like, is that relationship still there? Are you rooting for him? It's a team in your conference. Like, how does that work in an era where there is so much movement for players?
Well, I'm going to give you full transparency here. Our program didn't have a lot of people transfer, and several other programs obviously out there weren't used to that as well. And when the first people transferred, like, I even know Coach Sampson same way. If someone leaves their program as a coach, the first thing you do is you feel like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And it hurts.
Take it kind of personally.
Yeah, and that's just because you care. Yeah. And it's and I'm just saying, like, that was really hard. And now as more and more people have transferred, you get more and more used to it. You know, it's not a personal thing. Right. And in some cases, it's not even the players. It could be anybody else that influences them. Absolutely. So you get used to it more. So it's and you know what? Your program's not blamed for losing a guy anymore. It's just the way of the world and how things go. But I'm just telling you, like, you got Auburn up there. I remember we got Davion Mitchell. I know that hurt Coach Pearl because, again, Davion was a great player, but as a coach, you want your guys to come to you, like it, have success, graduate. And so now with the portal, everybody's more used to it. So you take LJ, for instance. I mean, me and him used to go to Chick-fil-A all the time. Now I go by myself. So anyway, but LJ's somebody that I hope he has a lot of success, love his family, and he could be one of the first modern or the only guy to win two national championships from different teams. But reality is just like a relationship. Girlfriend breaks up with you, it ain't easy.
Just speaking of that as well, too, Coach, how difficult is it going to be going forward in this climate with the transfer portal and the new rules to build other teams like the special group that you had in 2021?
Well, and that's why I said, like we talked about Houston, people are going to retain people, but that's going to be a lot harder and a lot more rare until the guardrails and just the House ruling and everything kind of settles. Because I think universally nobody likes uncertainty. Nobody likes even moving. Who wants to move 4 times in 4 years? Right. Packing stinks, you know? I mean, so I think we want stability across the board, and the players want to graduate. And if you have 4 schools in 4 years, the reality is you're not going to graduate. Yeah. So as we're in a transition period, we need to find a happy median. But I know replacing a whole team each and every year is not something that anybody wants to do.
Yeah, and I think there is a lesson, right? Like your relationship with the portal, there are levels to it. Because I look at Auburn and Houston, 4 of their 5 starters were in the program last year. Florida, 3 of 5 with their 6-man multiple-year guy. Duke generational class, so a freshman class, so that's kind of the exception. But isn't that, like, you don't want to get in a habit of being too addicted to the portal, because if you're turning your roster year over year, something's missing ultimately.
And it's all relative. And what I mean by that, if our team has a bunch of returners and your team has a bunch of new guys and talent's even, experience is going to win. But if both of us have completely new rosters, then it's equal.
Right.
And right now, this year, I'd be surprised next year at this time if anybody returns 90% of their roster.
Amazing.
No, it'll never happen again.
That's what I
Jerome Tang, we got jumping on here from Kansas State. These guys know each other just a little bit. How many years were you guys together?
19.
Yeah, when we came together, no gray, no baldness.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot different when I saw you guys at Kingwood.
It's kind of like with you when Talia first came along.
No
gray, no
Look at all
bald.
that. Look at all that.
No, Jeff,
There's a reason I wear a hat.
Notice I didn't mention your
You've
wife.
never looked older.
Thank you.
You've
Thank
never
you.
looked older.
I appreciate that.
As the hairline has receded, the Baylor lettering has gotten smaller.
What's up with that? I would think it would get bigger.
This is what
Didn't they make a rule?
You win the national championship. You know.
No, you earned it.
Now that you really don't need to see stuff, you just need NIL, right?
Well, weren't you guys the reason they made a rule? Because you guys had Baylor. They had the biggest damn letters on their Baylor shirts when they would go out in AAU ball. Did they finally, the NCAA say?
That was for the players that needed contacts that didn't know it. You know, we wanted to make sure that.
You would go 4 strong underneath the basket every single day. All right, so what have you learned, Jerome, from this past year? And obviously we know, I'm not going to ask you how much it was, but you had a high NIL resources this year.
Yeah.
What is the biggest thing you learned from last season?
No, that's a great question. But I want to put this in perspective that what was a high NIL last year is a low NIL this year.
It really might
All
be.
right, yeah, we just like average margin. So, hey, Jeff, I learned that I thought that NIL would impact how it's going to impact my team and the locker room. I thought about, how it would impact some other things. I did not realize the impact it would have on me as a coach. I would go into practice every day, and I was really, really frustrated that my 18 to 23-year-olds were acting like 18 to 23-year-olds when I was paying them, thinking like for some reason they would all of a sudden be 30-year-olds.
That's interesting.
Right? And so, like, I didn't have the power to fire them, and I was just frustrated, so I wasn't the best version of myself. And until I learned to deal with it, like, our team didn't become what we were capable of becoming.
That was something I wanted to ask you, because there was a time, maybe January or February, where Kansas State, despite the start, was the #1 team rated at Torvik. It was like a 2.5-week stretch where you guys were the hottest team in America. So I'm just asking, why did you find it so difficult to channel that for the entirety of the season? Like, is that just the variance of college basketball? What was working for you in that stretch that maybe wasn't working the whole year?
Yeah, well, when you get desperate, right, when the players get desperate too, as desperate as the coaching staff is, and have that sense of urgency, things change. So it had to come to that. But it didn't come to that because they thought they could turn it on, and I was not being the best that I could be in challenging them. But we probably was way too complex early on, trying to do too much, and later on we really simplified everything, and then I just became the voice of the team and didn't let anybody else talk.
How have you changed, Scott? Have you had to change over the last year or two in how you've either coached on the court or off the court with these players?
Well, I think first is your staff changes, and we've had several coaches leave and become head coaches. You as a head coach have to fill the gaps. And so, I mean, when we had a staff that had worked together for so many years, Coach Tang and I for 19 years, I didn't need to say things. He just got them done. As a new staff, you got to say, hey, did you do this? Or I forgot to tell you, so I got to do it. So there's just a lot more.
Coaching your staff.
Yeah, it's a lot more feeling it out, correct. Just like first time you guys have this show, compared to the end of the year, you're just ripping and running. And part of, I think, your question to him was, like, early on, the teams that are newer, they're never as good as the teams, especially that return.
For Kentucky.
That return, yeah, except
There's
for
a couple
exceptions,
exceptions.
Yeah, the rule would be, I think everybody would want a veteran backcourt, because if you got a veteran backcourt, then they know what you want, how you want it. You get off to a quick start. And then the second thing I think that none of us have really talked enough about is injuries, because with NIL, teams aren't as deep as they used to be, because you can't afford to have that depth.
Because somebody else is paying your 6 man like a starter.
There you go.
So what happens is now all of a sudden you have a key injury or whatnot, and now
You had a few.
yeah, and that changes your season quick.
I'm curious for both of you guys on this, but specifically Jerome, because we've kind of talked about this before. With the numbers that these players are getting public now, right? And you dealt with this specifically because of the reporting around Coleman Hawkins and what he was getting. How does that change the way that you coach them, the way that they have to deal with questions from the media? Because it's not any different than things that have happened in the past, right? But now everyone knows what that number is, and fans are like, well, you're getting this, and you're not playing like this. There's an added level of pressure that I think is very different from something that's happened in college basketball. Like it's just a different dynamic, and all of a sudden, like that now it's pro, right? We say that about teams for the Spurs or the Mavs or whoever, right? But that's coming to college now.
Do we really say that about those guys? When was the last time a guy, an NBA guy, went to the podium and a media person said, "Man, we're paying you $46 million this year, and you're really not delivering the way we thought you would"?
Westbrook might be the only one I can think of.
There
aren't many.
Chandler Parsons in Memphis.
Yeah.
You're on a supermax deal, and you're not playing like a supermax. They don't do that to those guys.
Yeah.
And those guys don't go to the podium and apologize for how they played, right? Because they have a maturity about them that it's moving on to the next. Whereas these guys experiencing this for the first time, right? And they, like read into every question. Was he asking me this because of the NIL? You know, and so the maturity of kids learning how to deal with this, that's one thing. And this was new for Coleman, right? And then whoever advised him and put his salary out there didn't realize the pressure they were putting on that young
Well, it was good, man.
And
No,
he
it was
had
not
a
me.
career.
You didn't put his
listen
salary
to me.
out?
He had a career year. He's the only player in the country to average 10-plus points a game, 10 or more points a game, 4.5 or more rebounds, 2.5 assists, or 2 blocks, 2 steals. He's the only player in the country that did that. Nobody else did that.
Yep.
And that's what he was. He was a super facilitator, connector, right? He wasn't a 20-point-a-game scorer. That's never who he was. And when we went on that 6-game winning streak, he facilitated all of that.
Yeah.
Right? We were able to throw it to him and command a double team. But people expected, their expectations of what they wanted him to be was not the reality of who he was, and all that did was add pressure.
And he got injured too.
And then he got injured
See,
after
so
that. Right
that's-
when we flipped after the during the 6-game win streak, right at the end of it, he got hurt.
Yeah.
In the first half against Utah.
But you even said that you kind of were falling victim to that too. Like as
Yeah,
a coach, you're getting this type of money. I'm expecting certain things, or you had to adjust to that.
No, certain things I was expecting was you can't pout at practice, right? You got to bring energy at practice. You have to show up early and and do your rehab.
Because you're a professional.
You're a professional now, right? And then instead of I have to train them how to do that. Like the money has nothing to do with. They're still 18
Right.
to 23-year-olds, and my calling is to help them go from being boys to men.
Yep.
Right? And
Yep.
and I lost sight of my calling during that time and allowed frustration to build.
So I'm not sure there's a more positive human being on the planet than you. But with everything that's going on right now, like even you, do you have those days where you're like, what happened to this sport? I don't have that same feeling that I once had of getting a kid in as a freshman and watching him develop and having this relationship where, I'm going to be at his wedding. Now you're getting these guys in for 8 months that they're going to have 4 different coaches to choose. They might invite you, all 4 of you, to their wedding. I don't know.
Yeah, so Coach Tang is what's it called officiate. What do you do? Officiated the wedding, and I'm going to do my first one this summer with Jalen Bridges. So I'm going to get notes from Coach Tang. But like that is really cool and something that every coach longs for. I think you're seeing even with senior night. I mean, how many senior nights do guys have? Now COVID's gone, so that'll change things. But that relationship with someone, just like dating, you date someone for 8 months, it's different than dating someone for 5 years or 4 years.
Well, even senior nights, guys are having senior nights and then playing somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't even know what it means anymore.
So back to your question. It affected me more early on. I've gotten a little more numb to it, and it's either you complain or you adapt and control what you could control. We say in coaching. I think Coach Tang's frustration too was similar to all of us. Now that you're pros, we're paying you to do this role. Why aren't you buying into that role?
Yep.
But you know what? Even in the NBA, guys don't buy into the role.
You're exactly right.
And they're older than 18.
And you can't trade them.
Yeah.
You can't trade the guys in college basketball.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I think again, this transition, and in a couple years, hopefully, my goal personally is when we're out of the game, we leave it better. Because like right now, if my son wanted to coach, I'd say he can't do it right now. Ooh. That's real. In a couple of years, hopefully, hey, you want to coach? It's a great profession.
Right.
But right now, I mean, that Advil bottle's low.
All right, give me your favorite recruiting story when the two of you were together. Might have been a great in-home, something that was just, again, something that maybe you haven't told before. I don't know. Got to be one with you guys.
So
you guys are out of your mind how you recruited.
So first and foremost, every time we did a home visit, we thought we were getting them. So we would have all the energy. We'd walk out. I mean, like De'Aaron Fox, we walk out. Oh, he's coming to Baylor.
Oh, we are getting that.
We weren't even at the final 15. But we walked out that house. He's coming to Baylor. Every visit was the exact same way.
Yeah.
When we first got to Baylor, who was the player that went to Oregon that we tried to do a home visit with?
Oh,
Let's
the
leave
shooter.
this-
The
yeah.
shooter. That went to Oregon from Houston.
So we're waiting outside the driveway.
Little guy?
Yeah,
No,
we're-
no, no, no.
No,
he's
6'5".
No, before Dotson.
2003.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, you weren't born yet, man. No, I'm joking.
Ochai.
So what was it? We were outside the house waiting.
So we show up at the house. It's raining, right? And we're sprinkling. The CBS truck is following us because they want to see him out on, like, there's some kind of thing. And so they have to park down the street. We get to the house, and the kid's Nigerian, and his mom was, y'all did not make an appointment? You did not set this up? You can't, and she closed the door on us.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked back to the car. He's coming. Not joking.
Yep.
No. Then
Knock that one out of the park.
The kid came out, and we did the presentation to him on the hood of the car in his driveway.
We did. Mother wanted no party.
Mom didn't want any part of it.
Damn.
Man.
No,
All right,
you
well,
It's a different time
you
now.
gotta
I
tell
miss those
the-
days.
no,
They don't recruit like that
we got
anymore.
got a better one? All right, go ahead. Who you got?
What's the kid's name from Baltimore? Went to Kansas.
You guys got to get on your names,
Thomas
man. What was this,
Roberts?
2004?
Hey. Let's leave
Josh
this.
Selby.
Josh Selby. All right, we got
okay.
Josh
Selby.
So, yes.
So
So
Coach
Mills
Mills.
is
You know Coach Mills, right?
is leading the Josh Selby thing. So he sets up the home visit. We get to Josh Selby's mom's house, and she's there, and they're selling jewelry and like all kind of stuff and everything, and we're sitting around waiting, and Josh doesn't show up, and so we do our thing with the parents, and we go and we get in the car, and Coach says, "Hey Tang, will you tell Mills when we set up a home visit, we'd like the kid to be there?"
He never came. Never showed up.
Oh,
Did you buy any jewelry
hold
at
on,
least?
but
Did
we
you buy some
found
jewelry?
him. We found him. He's getting a workout or something, and once again it's raining, and we're outside. The coach is outside one window with the computer. I'm outside the other window.
You were gonna see the PowerPoint.
Hey, that's
Don't
amazing.
even tell me you said we're going to get that kid after that.
No.
No,
No way.
we said Mills, we're gonna get you.
Hey,
You're buying dinner.
I was told to ask you guys about Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that's a Mill story.
Yeah, only he can
Yeah,
share
only
that
he
one.
can tell that. Okay, so my best recruiting, right? So this joker, right? One of the guys who flew us around every now and then, and him were good friends. And so apparently Coach had been on the plane a few times, and they let him sit up front in the pilot seat and like hold the steering wheel, right? So
He
here,
can't even drive.
listen, we're in this plane. We're coming back from seeing A.J. Walton, right? And I'm in the plane. Now, it was shorter than that. It was somebody else. We'd only known each other for like three or 4 years, right? And I'm in the plane, and and the guy says, "Hey, Coach, you want to come up front?" So him and the pilot switch seats, and he's up there, and he's got his hand, and he says, "Hey, Tang, watch this." And he dips the plane.
No way.
Yes. And then he whoop and he dips it again. I'm sitting back down. I'm a beat. I am going. Oh, I am going to.
You do that.
Hey, Jeff. I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna beat the hell out this dude when this plane lands. I don't know him now. I'm just going. I'm gonna whoop his butt when this plane lands. I was so
Thinks
pissed
it's
off.
some like video game.
He's playing 30,000 feet in the air. Whoop, whoop.
That's outrageous. That is absolutely outrageous. Well,
We got to let you go because you got to.
you got a plane to fly, apparently.
He's got to prepare. We got a big pickleball match tomorrow. So.
Okay.
Hey, thank you guys for doing this. Thanks for all you do for college basketball. Appreciate
Thanks for
you.
coming, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure's ours. Two of the
Don't
Big
let
12's
Goodman beat you
finest.
tomorrow.
Scott Drew and Jerome Tang. We'll be back. We have so much more to come here live from Smoke Sky Bar in San Antonio, Texas. Day 3, Final Four coverage. Stick around.
Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at Ownwell.com. ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today. I want my home to feel like my home. So whether I'm looking for big furniture, just a small piece for my place, or maybe some storage solutions for the basement or the garage, the answer is Wayfair. Seriously, I needed a new patio set and fire pit for my backyard. I bought it on Wayfair. It looks great on our deck, and it gives me an excuse to fire up the smoker, invite some friends over, crack a couple beers. Just last week, I bought a new chair for my office, someplace comfortable to sit while the madness takes up the 4 screens in front of me. I got it on Wayfair, clicked a few buttons. A couple days later, it showed up at my front door. They even offered to help set it up for you. Digging through online stores can be intimidating. Trust me, I know. It can be hard to find what you're looking for in your price range, but not on Wayfair. They have great options, even if you are balling on a budget like me. Wayfair has every style for every home, including mine and yours. So head to wayfair.com and shop everything home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
People have opinions about me, strong ones. Some compare my brand to the competition and call me a copycat. Some say that I'm just watered down, that I fall flat. I've heard it all. But the people who get me, they say I'm different, subtle, but balanced. Nothing to hide, nothing artificial. And once they give me a chance, they keep coming back for more. For more dab water. That's right, I'm talking about dab water, and I swear by it. No bubbles, no fizz, just a smooth, refreshing canned cocktail made with real tequila. 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Find Dab Water's 4 flavors in an 8-pack variety pack or single flavor 6-packs. Dab Water invites you to enjoy its great lineup of products all tournament long. Take it from me, Jeff Goodman. Sometimes the most polarizing things are the best things. Dab Water, tequila, water, natural flavors.
Welcome back, Field of 68. We are here live, day 3 of San Antonio coverage here at the Final Four. John Martin, Jarrell McNeil, Mike LaTulip, Rob Doster. Thanks to Scott Drew and Jerome Tank for joining us. We are expecting to have more surprises along the night. But got some portal news. Everybody's favorite subject in college basketball. Henry Visar commits to North Carolina, which, Mike, if you're watching North Carolina this year, that was the weakness. The weakness of this North Carolina team is that they didn't have interior play. So how much of a difference year over year is Visar going to make?
I've never seen anyone as excited for a commitment as he is for Henry
That's why I
Visar in
started
North Carolina.
That's why I
The
started.
last person that was that excited
raised
about something
Henry Visar.
was Rob Doster when Silas Demery committed to UConn.
Yeah, that
We'll
was
talk about that.
we did
Can
3
we talk about that a
hours
little
on
bit?
Yeah, let's go into
afterwards?
Demery for another 20
Emergency
minutes.
podcast.
No, it's a huge pickup. It is. I think we know what the pitfalls of this North Carolina team was this year, and it was on that front line. And when you get Visar, he's a modern day big because he's a rim runner. He can rebound at a high level. He protects the paint. He protects the basket. He alters shots, and just you saw when Arizona surged this year, it coincided with Visar getting an elevated role. Once Krivas went out, he came in, and in games where he scored double figures this year, Arizona was 14-3. He's a stud, and I think he's one of those guys where by far highest plus minus on the Arizona team because you can put him in different spots. You don't need to throw the ball into him in the post, although he can be effective down there. He can be a rim threat. I want to see who North Carolina ends up getting at that guard spot to be able to play off of him, throw lobs, rim run. I'm really excited if I'm a Carolina fan.
He is everything that you want out of a modern day big, right?
Absolutely.
He's got the length. He's got the size. He's got a mean streak. He's going to try to dunk on you. He dunked on a lot of people this year. He doesn't look – he's one of these European guys, but he's tough as hell, man. And he can protect the rim. You can play him in that drop coverage, and he's going to be able to take away those 2-on-1s, right? He can get out and defend on the perimeter if you need him to. I've seen him make threes this season, right? Like he can actually shoot it a little bit. He has everything that you want out of a modern-day big, and his numbers don't pop off the screen, right? I think it's like 9
and 4,
9 and 5, something like that. But Arizona had a setup that was similar to what UConn's done in the past. That was similar to what we see with Duke, right? Where what they want to do is have one guy that plays one way, Henry Visar, and then Toby Awaka would come in and play a completely different way. Thunder and Lightning is what I called him. And
Good nickname, Rob.
When he gets to Carolina, why you hating, man?
I mean, we got to do a little better in 2025 than Thunder and Lightning.
Don't make me tell some stories from last night, man.
I'm sure at some point the stories will get told. They've been told a million times. They'll get told again. Some of those need to be kept private, though.
Yes,
just for
they
the
will
sanctity of the event.
He's everything you want out of a modern day big, and he is the perfect fit for what North Carolina was missing. Got to get the guards around him, but he is the good starting point for where North Carolina.
He's
needs
a
to
pro.
be.
Yeah, I think Mike hit on it right away, and that's the biggest thing I'm interested to see with R.J. Davis being gone, obviously Elliot Cadeau being gone. What guards are you tracking now to go try to pair with these guys? I think it's going to be more than anything a concerted effort. Number one for Carolina to try to get longer. They lost to Duke 3 times this year, which never goes over.
You
well
can't.
in
I love
Carolina.
Seth Trimble. You can't play Seth Trimble at the 3.
You get what I'm saying? He can't be your
You just
3.
can't do that.
It wasn't only that they didn't have bigs and somebody to kind of be that anchor in the front court, but it was that they had little guards.
Yeah.
And let's be honest about it. Outside of Trimble, everybody else kind of struggled. We're selective playing defense at least. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And I'll add too, not only just the point guard spot for Carolina, but being able to really guard, I think, accentuates the defensive abilities of Vesar as well. If you have guards that are getting blistered off the dribble, now Vesar's got to come over and help, and he's better off where he can just be a weak guy that comes over from the weak side that just alters a shot with a guard sliding over with him. So that's what I'm looking for too. Not only just offensively, what that backcourt looks like, but how strong it is on the defensive end as well to keep those guys out of the paint. And when they do get in there, you got another body with them, and Vesar can contest.
Yeah, some other portal news today, which I thought was, obviously nothing that happens from today, the rest of the time we'll be able to touch Silas Demery. But
We're back, baby.
Yeah,
We're back. We'll see Indianapolis 2026.
My house.
$4 billion for him in this economy, right?
What,
For Silas, $4 billion.
Not
enough. Still underpaid.
I would have paid 5.
You would have paid $5.
$5 billion.
$5 billion, yeah.
$5 billion?
$5 billion would have been.
Another, I thought, key addition today was Jacoby Gillespie committing to Tennessee.
Yes.
Obviously, they're looking to replace Zakai Ziegler, and this feels like, Rob, one of the first steps in doing that.
The thing that was the most telling to me about that was Jacoby Gillespie comes from Belmont, goes to Maryland, has a huge year, right? We've seen a lot of guards transfer up from the mid-major level to the high-major level and not be able to make that kind of a leap, right? J.P. Pegues is the perfect example at Auburn. We thought he was going to be a difference maker there. He don't play anymore, right? Jacoby Gillespie goes Belmont, Maryland, has an all-league. But was he all Big Ten? If he wasn't all Big Ten, he was good enough to be all Big Ten.
he had to make one of the teams.
Third team. I think he was 13.
Yeah, third team all
One
Big
of the
Ten.
teams.
So he goes there, plays for Willard. Willard gets a new job. They put a big money offer, Villanova did, for him, and he's at Tennessee. And to me, that kind of that says something. Hey, zoom in on Jarrell's face when he made that look. Dagan's gone. Our producer's gone. So we can't even look. If I could throw it to you, you're not even going to be on camera anymore. Where's Dagan? Jarrell, that says a lot to me.
No, I think it does. I think it definitely does. I think we would have assumed it was going to be a foregone conclusion that Willard leaving after the year that Gillespie had for him at Maryland, somebody that he knows he can depend on in a high stressful situation where it's like, I get it, it's a new deal, but Kevin Willard needs guys so he can get some wins next year and start inching at least getting close to getting back in the tournament, because that's a fan base that's not anything less than that is going to be looked at like, oh, here we go again. But yes, I would look at it with a side eye a little bit about, maybe speaks to their relationship. I'm not sure whether there's something going on in the locker room or if just Gillespie felt like Tennessee was a better fit. Because I'm being honest, I feel like, again, Tennessee knocks it out of the ballpark, not necessarily just with the personnel and the talent, but guys that kind of fit with what they do.
I think one thing I will add to that is, Jacoby Gillespie is from Tennessee. So there had been talk about potentially going home. So maybe there is a Willard aspect to it, but there is that.
Let's also say to it as well. That the rumors about Jacoby Gillespie, that conversation started in like January.
It was
you heard that. You heard
ago,
that.
yeah.
John probably didn't hear it because he was too busy texting.
I'm working the transfer portal.
No, but let's talk about the fit at Tennessee, because you're filling in for Zakai Ziegler, who, let's be honest, Gillespie's the better offensive player than Ziegler. I think we can all agree on that. Is he at least comparable defensively? I mean, Ziegler was an incredible defender.
But he was small.
Yeah.
He was small.
And Jacoby
he was
isn't-
turnover prone,
Yeah.
and ultimately his offensive limitations just hurt them. I mean, they did. And I think, honestly, I am willing to give Rick Barnes the benefit of the doubt on if he takes a guy, like he trusts that he's going to be able to guard enough.
They've changed their mindset. I've talked with their staff about this. They changed their mindset in how they go out and attack transfers. Because what they wanted to do for a while was, let's go get the biggest, baddest, toughest dudes, and you ain't going to score on us. And what they realized was, we can teach people how to play defense. Like, we can coach that up in you. We can identify toughness in guys that have the potential to be good on that end of the floor. What we can't teach you how to do is, like, be able to make a shot and shoot. We can't teach you to be able to make a play off the bounce if you can't dribble. We can't teach you how to play in a pit. So what they've started doing is going out and getting dudes that get buckets, and then just said, we're going to teach you how to play defense. We're going to teach you how to guard. And
well, I mean, the issue with them has been that they just have one of those guys on the court at one time. I mean, they had Dalton Connect, was great, got him to the Elite Eight, fell short. They replaced Dalton with Chaz Lanier, who's basically Dalton Connect, and they fall short in the Elite Eight again. So it does kind of seem like now Rick Barnes saying, hey, listen, just get me a guy who can play team defense. I need somebody that can put the ball in the bucket, in the bucket now, because I'm falling short because of my offense.
It's a portion of that too, where it's like those guys that are getting the buckets or the bucket getters aren't necessarily strong defenders either, but they're surrounded by an all-star defensive cast. I feel like between Zakai Ziegler and Meshack. I mean, I still think Ziegler, even with his size and his shortcomings offensively, you can't teach the guy that can slide his feet like that on the perimeter.
He was
and keep
SEC
the ball
defensive
in
player of
front
the year,
of
wasn't
him. And the pressure that he applies at the point of attack is something that's really understated. It makes a huge impact on everything that they do.
Picking you up full court.
Man, it wears it wears people down.
It does. And the other thing I'll add too with Tennessee, think about the transfers that they got last year. Lanier, mid-major level. Go back further. Connect, mid-major level. Milicic, mid-major level. Gainey, mid-major level. Dubar, prolific scorer at Hofstra, comes in and he's like a bruiser at Tennessee. So now they're dipping into the high major pond a little bit. Maybe they would have tried to get Gillespie 2 years ago out of Belmont. It would have fit the mold of what they've been doing the last few years.
So how do we classify? Does he still count as mid-major guy? When you do a year at a high major, you no longer.
I mean,
a
technically,
mid-major guy?
he's a Maryland transfer.
Yes.
He's a high major. He's 13 All Big Ten. He's a high major guy.
Where you project coming out of high school is what you are.
Yeah, forever and ever and ever.
No matter what.
He's forever going to be a zero-star recruit.
Yes.
Zach, he's never
So
going to be
you
the National
think-
Player of the Year. That's like what. Were you on with us with Paint yesterday? Paint was like, I haven't had elite players. No, you just had the two-time National Player of the Year and the consensus first-team
He
All-American.
wasn't that when he showed up, though. is
That's
the point.
that's the origin story.
I
That's the origin story.
I love.
I mean,
got
exactly
what
what
he
you
was
not an
saying.
elite
You would
player
say
when he
that
showed up.
Gillespie is a mid-major player?
No,
Because
I'm
of
just
the-
saying he started at the mid-major level, so he's always going to be viewed at.
Okay.
Coming out of high school, that's what I mean. Like, where you projected out of high school, the level you go at out of high school, especially for the guys before all of this stuff got crazy, like you were a 2-star or a 3. That's where and that doesn't say that they're not high-level talents. Guys fall through the cracks all the time.
No
they
doubt.
play their way up into a high major level, and they stick and they kill it.
Yeah, I'm curious, Jarrell, since you are, for the people that don't know, you help coach Main Streets. You're involved with the EYBL program there out of Chicago, and you deal with some of this transfer stuff. So just kind of take me through the process. You don't have to name names. You don't have to say who the players are. But, like, how does this work behind the scenes when you have guys that are looking to be recruited, that know in January or February that they're going to leave? How do those conversations start? Is it coaches reaching out to you or people like you in that role? Is it agents? Like, how is that process behind the scenes that we don't see as fans?
I mean, being honest, it's right now it's a mess because that process is kind of different for everybody, depending on where the kid is. A ton of our guys that come through now have representation, or at least the guys that are commanding a decent dollar amount in the open market, they have representation. Some guys use that representation as like their point man or their filters. Some guys still call back and have us help with it on our end because they trust our basketball knowledge about helping pick the best fit and knowing some of the coaches as well and like style and scheme. All that stuff goes into it. Some still use their parents. Some still use their parents as well too, obviously, or high school coaches, whatever it may be. But the process is a little bit different for everybody. Right now, I think that's the biggest thing is that it isn't any clear-cut way to do it. Some guys are trying to do it without agents because they know that they don't want somebody dipping into their pockets. And
there's agents that are out there doing it without having actually representing the player. They're saying like, "Hey, I represent this guy," and then going back to the player and saying, "Hey, look, you were him, but I got this offer from this program right now."
Right.
There's agents that are doing that right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a little bit of the wild, wild west. But the biggest thing for us and the biggest thing that we preach and that we try to do throughout the program is, number one, create a somewhat surface level education program, educating the kids, the student athletes, but as well as the parents. And then on top of that, having the resource to go out and connect them with people. We encourage that, in most cases that you do get an agent. And once you get to a certain status, though, when you get to, Hunter Dickinson level, where guys that are established, do you need an agent? That's a subjective question. Because now you want somebody hunting down NIL deals, real NIL deals, but that market value pricing, what schools are going to be able to pay you as far as like that collective stuff, it kind of sets itself. Like it's not a big negotiating thing.
Right.
Like you can hire a lawyer to look over the contract at the end of the day before you sign anything and save a lot of money on it.
Paying 20% of your NIL.
It's crazy.
Look,
it's crazy.
If you're a player and you're listening to this and you're paying 20% to your agent, come talk to me. I got you.
Well,
You'll undercut him for 18%. What a deal! What a deal!
Well, real quick, if I may, it's interesting because you bring up Hunter Dickinson and you think when he transfers to Kansas, does a guy like that need an agent? Where there's all portal rankings. Everybody knows who Hunter Dickinson is.
100%.
I think the difference in probably just like NBA players, the reason why you have the agent is not just to go get the opportunity, it's to actually negotiate. Because I don't know how many kids or kids' parents would be comfortable with like, hey, here's a number, and then them being like, hey, no, we're actually going back to the table. Some of them will probably be like, hey, yeah, no, that sounds great. Whereas the agent's the one who's the intermediary, the third party, that'll be like, no, we actually want this. Where that's just a more comfortable conversation, I think, for an agent to have over, a kid or a kid's family.
Is that worth 20%, Mike?
What is the difference between you get $2 million instead of $1 million? I don't know.
I
think there are rare cases. There are rare cases where NIL agents are actually worthwhile, but extremely rare. Otherwise, they're essentially scammers to me.
I disagree with that because I think in this day and age, right now, the reason there's a lot.
Dude, if you're an elite player, you're getting money.
Yeah, there's a lot that are, John. There's a lot that are, but there are also some agents out there that are doing it the right way, that are charging kids like 5 to 10%, which is probably a fair number considering the work that they do.
Well, I was using the 20% benchmark.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing. There's a lot of guys out there that are doing this the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I do think that you need one now because of how quick all of this stuff happens, right? And if you are a player and let's say that you were at UT San Antonio, because we're here in San Antonio, you average 20 points a game, and you're probably going to be on the move, right? The reason why you need an agent is you can start having those conversations early where it's not the player doing it. The agent can just say, listen, I'll go out, I'll put out feelers, I'll talk to these guys, I'll find out a way to be able to have something set up. So as soon as your season ends, he can come to the table and say, listen, the season ended yesterday. Today you have this offer, this offer, this offer, this offer, but this is what's available to you, and this is what your coach at your current staff says that they can get you to. if you want to come back.
And I just think that's the biggest value area for them.
Yes.
So, yes, getting that information and being able to have somebody on your side that can have those conversations while you can still focus on the task at hand, which is the season that you're trying to finish out.
Yeah.
That is value in that, but I don't think the negotiating is as daunting as
It's
some
not
of
to,
these
it's not to
people are
negotiate.
making
It's
it out to be, is what
it's
I'm
gathering the information. It is understanding the
information,
marketplace too. Like if you don't have an agent, then do you know? Like if you're Jacoby Gillespie's agent and you see Silas Demery go to UConn, and I'm just throwing numbers here. Like I'm not trying to report anything, but let's say he got $2 million at UConn, right?
Yep.
That was
The
$5
eight-
billion.
He got $5 billion at UConn. So if you're Jacoby's agent, you can say, look, this dude put up better numbers in a conference that was just as good. He was all Big Ten. Silas Demery wasn't all whatever it is. You have leverage there. You have negotiation there. You understand the marketplace. So there's value in having an agent. And I think that you probably want one just to give yourself that layer of protection, because you don't want – we're going to get to a point where all the questions that Kevin Willard had about leaving during the season, that's going to happen with players.
That's
eventually.
exactly what I was going to ask.
That's going to happen with
Exactly
players.
what I was
Players
gonna
are
ask.
going to be asked, there's rumors about you entering the portal. Are you going to come back next season in the middle of the conference tournament, in the middle of the NCAA?
Is having an agent going to change that?
No, but it allows the player to honestly say, I honestly don't know. So if you
But I'm trying to figure out what leverage does this, like, what are they going to, if you're a good player, like, what can they do? That's already happening right now.
Yeah, I know, but they're not getting asked those questions in press conferences.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's
let's
true.
just say,
Has somebody been asked that question in a press conference?
Kevin Willard, and it's going to happen with players eventually.
Well, that's because,
That was going to be the question I was going to ask, was at what point do we – because to me, like, what is the difference between – let's even forget Willard, DeVries. I mean, DeVries admitted, he was like, hey, Indiana was really respectful during the season, letting me coach. So clearly there's conversations going on. It may not be DeVries directly, but maybe his representation.
Will Wade was super honest. He was talking about during the tournament.
But if the same thing happens to a player
– hey, we've been talking.
if the same thing happens to a player, like what is – because I saw one, I don't even want to name the player, but he was asked after senior night because he kissed the floor. Maybe that gives it away. He kissed the floor on senior night, and he was asked because he still had another year eligibility, and they said, are you leaving? And he was like he kind of spazzed out a little bit. So I don't think players are used to that, and I wonder if it does get to that point.
It's going to.
Yeah.
It's going to, because these guys are professionals now. If you're making $1 million from a school, you're allowed. Media is allowed to and should. Their job is to ask.
Yeah, it's a
their
fair
job
question.
is to ask. Yeah, like they're reporting the news. Their job is to ask that question and find out about it. And I just
NBA players talk about, hey, your trade rumors and you want
Right.
out, and Jimmy Butler and Durant.
But the difference is that they have contracts that last more than a year. Right?
Yeah,
like
totally,
now,
yeah.
Like if Kevin Durant's on a 5-year contract and it's year 2 and he's asking to get traded, like that is much different than coming up to the end of the contract and everyone knows he's going to be a free agent. Yeah. And the way it is right now in college basketball, everyone knows you're going to be a free agent. We just don't talk about it until the season ends.
No, I think when a team manager is getting NIL, it's a signal that the top is in. It's only going to get worse.
aura,
from
bro.
Here. It's only going to get worse from here. All right, listen, we got a lot more to come here from San Antonio, live from Smoke Sky Bar. Lots of guests coming through. This is day 3 right here in San Antonio. Field of 68. Stick around.
College basketball fans, are you ready to take your hoops game to a new level? Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just trying to win your March Madness office pool, Rhythm is here to give you the edge this season. With data-driven predictions for every single college basketball game left on the schedule, Rhythm helps you maximize your bets. And as March Madness kicks off, Rhythm's insights will help you spot those plucky Cinderellas that you know are going to shake up the NCAA tournament. But that's not all. When Selection Sunday rolls around, let Rhythm's AI-powered bracket generator do the heavy lifting for you. This is the same AI tool that performed 35% better than the average ESPN bracket last year. And here's the best part. Rhythm pairs perfectly with our Field of 68 expert analysis, giving you the 1-2 punch that you need for the rest of the college basketball season. So don't wait. Download Rhythm today and get ready to see college basketball and your betting results in a whole new light. Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
Welcome back to Field of 68, our Final Four coverage, day 3 here live from San Antonio. Smoke Sky Bar. This has been a lot of fun, and this has been a fun season. You know, and not that we necessarily, Jeff Goodman's here. He pitched a fit yesterday that I didn't introduce him. Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Goodman, Mike Latulip, Rob Doster. I'm John Martin. And listen, all season long, I don't know how many shows we've done, the takes have flown. All throughout the season. And what we've done here is we've compiled the boldest of them all. And you guys' responsibility is to determine and guess who said it. Who does this bold take belong to? So we're gonna put it. Coming in. Oh, we got some confidence.
Are we ready? It was
All right. So we've got
It was me.
All right. So we've got. You wanted me to reveal one by one? All right. Jeff Goodman, please. Jeff Goodman, Bobby Doster. All right. Mike Latulip.
I went with John Henson.
John
Clearly,
Henson.
I wasn't on that show, whatever it was.
And then Bobby Doster. There we go.
It was
He
me.
says himself.
It was me.
It was RC.
Oh, wow.
How come I don't get to guess?
Wow.
All right, I'll just guess without putting my. No, you keep that. You have to have that. The tariffs have hurt our materials here.
I thought for sure, both you.
All right, what's next?
An audible groan in the
All of
bar
you
as
guys
John
are
makes a
terrible.
tariffs joke.
Every day I'm doing the show, I'm getting in a tariffs joke. That's 100% right. What's the next take? What's the next bold take? There's a couple of options.
There's one option.
I feel like
There's-
this is going to be a zag.
There's
he's
one
going to
option.
zag here.
No, you know what?
All right.
It's too easy.
All right,
It's
can
too
I
easy.
start?
It's
Can
too
I start?
obvious.
I'm going to start. Hold
That's
on.
too easy.
I'm playing the game. Put your shit down. I'm starting. It's Rob Doster said that bullshit. All right, now let's go. Jeff Goodman. Fanta and Dagan.
I said Fanta.
Fanta. Oh, my
I
goodness.
said
It was
Fanta.
Fanta. All right.
actually Homer.
I honestly,
That was
I didn't
a Homer
think
pick.
I didn't think he would do that. I thought he would say, "I'll never be a Homer." but apparently I was wrong. All right.
He didn't give
That-
enough NIL. That was the problem
Clearly.
this year.
Got to work on it. All right. There you go. You guys are on the board. I think it's 1-1-1.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Who's
Well, we should tell you the only options
There we
that
go.
you can have are Fanta, me, T.O.
How come you guys all say dumb shit? All right. But everybody has
Goodman.
Doster? Who do you
I
have?
went with Goodman.
I have Goodman.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Doster. That was too easy.
You
Too easy.
you guys do all the shows together. I'm the one that gets cut out here.
He also said Kansas State was going to the Final Four.
I did not say Kansas State was
Louisville.
going to the final. Like,
Louisville.
easy.
Wow.
We have
Yeah.
more. We have more.
All right. What's the score, by the way? I think it's 2-2.
I got two. I got two.
2-1-1. All right.
Okay.
2-1-1. What's next?
This slander, it's got to be
That's
Goodman.
only one correct
I'm a
answer
little
on
worried
this.
it was me.
I'm going to go.
I'm a little worried it was me. All right.
I'm going.
Everybody
I'm going
goes Goodman.
Jeff Goodman.
It was
Yes.
Goodman.
Goodman.
It's really sad that I had the same opinion, though. All right. I guess I wouldn't bring that
John, did that
national.
take end up proving correct?
No. No. PJ Haggerty was a consensus second-team All-American. Was a diabolical.
He was not consensus because he was not a field of 68 second-team All-American.
Oh, well.
Oh.
He was not. He,
He was
didn't
not
make any of the
consensus.
teams.
How many tournament games
Well, that's
did he
because
win
the
this
guy
year?
running it said he was going to have a bad year.
How many tournament games did he win this year, John?
All right, this is for me. I have one more. Oh.
I'm coming in.
Oh, now Dagan's coming in.
All right, so this is hard to put on a graphic, so we're just going to do this via voice. So we made picks back on our Boldest Take show for National Player of the Year, Best Transfer, and Dark Horse Final Four team. So I'm going to read off a couple, and I want you guys to make guesses, and then I'll tell you the answer. So this person, whoever said it, National Player of the Year pick was Alex Caravan. Who picked Alex Caravan to be National Player of the Year?
There's no way that was me. Did I do that? There's no way that was
You'll find out
I'm
here
really
in a minute.
nervous, right? There's no way that was me.
No.
Hold on.
Is it just one at a time?
Yeah, we'll do one at a time here. So just, everybody reveal them, and then I'll let you know.
I'm throwing
Doster,
some- I'm
T.O.,
throwing some
Doster, and McCall. Nobody is correct. It
Going
was
Rob Doster.
Jeff Goodman.
Oh!
Trevor, can we get audio on that? We got to get the video of that. Can we pull that?
He said if he's the most important player on UConn and they win a three-peat, he's going to win National
But I
Player
never
of the Year.
thought they'd win a three-peat.
But that's what you said. That was your answer.
All right.
You're an idiot.
I want to check the tape on that.
Wow.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
This is the owner of the company, a co-founder,
All
excuse
right,
me.
now we're going to go to Dark Horse Final Four team.
I think that was a great take, by the way.
Great.
Sure.
Hey, Goodman, you know who's going to win National Player of the Year next year?
Who? Solo ball?
Silas Demery.
Alex
Silas
Caravan.
Silas Demery.
All right, Dark Horse Final Four team. Who had Rutgers making the Final Four?
Holy
Rutgers.
Final Four?
Yes, Dark Horse Final Four team.
Dark Horse Final 14.
Yeah, he had their Dark Horse. Maybe not making it, but their team that could make it.
No way.
No, you know who my picks were. You know who my picks were.
So John Martin goes with himself, but he's not sure. There's a question mark there. Goodman.
Yeah. I mean,
T.O.
T.O.
Not correct. Nobody's correct once again. It was Matt McCall.
That's a bad take.
Oh,
That was a bad take.
wow.
All right, next one. We'll stick with Dark Horse Final Four team. This person actually was more on track. They had Texas Tech as their Dark Horse Final Four contender.
It's a good take.
That wasn't a bad take.
No, it's a good take.
Preseason?
We had some good
was
ones.
it Super Bowl the preseason?
Yeah,
Preseason. This was way back in October.
Okay.
We made
I mean,
all this.
it's obviously somebody that has a clue of what they're talking about, so it can't be Goodman.
Why you know who my picks were? You know who my Dark Horse Final Four teams were.
You took a lot.
I took a lot
two.
of them.
No, the
I
problem
took
was
two,
you had
and you've been
12.
making fun of me
we
for
can't
the
do Rouse
entire
because we've been
season.
talking about it all year. So
You
everybody knows who.
the
As soon as
entire
I say it,
season.
you know.
Is this just on the which show?
The one at ACC Media Day.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it can't be him.
It's ACC Media Day. Oh, I guess it could be.
All right, here we go. John Martin said T.O., RC, Fanta, and Fanta. Texas Tech, that was John Fanta.
Yep.
Yes.
I vividly
Pretty good
remember
take.
saying that.
All right, another good
Good
take.
call, John.
I think
Almost.
someone said Florida. At
no,
some
they didn't.
point during the year. It wasn't
Probably
on
not
the
on
show.
that
At
show,
some
but
point
maybe.
during
Probably
the year.
McCall.
It might have been McCall. I think it was Goodman, actually. I think you said Florida
You said Florida?
in the preseason. I'm pretty sure you said it
I
at
can't
some
remember
point.
what I
Someone
had for
said
dinner
it.
last
so many
night.
takes.
All right.
Trevor, can you go back and check all of our shows from the preseason?
I don't think that's going to be happening.
That Florida was going to make the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening. All right, we're going to go back to National Player of the Year pick.
Uh-oh.
They picked Cooper Flagg as their National Player of the Year pick.
Everybody.
I understand it was everybody, but
Well,
nobody else
obviously
did.
I didn't.
Nobody else did.
Thought I did.
Wait, one
This
person.
was actually a hot take back then.
One person
Like
picked
he was
Cooper
nowhere
Flagg?
near.
One person picked Cooper Flagg on our show as National Player of the Year.
I mean-
so who do we think it is? T.O., R.C. They're still writing, but it's
I think
fine.
it was
R.C.
It was
and
RC.
R.C. It was T.O. It's T.O.
Wasn't our
Bang, bitch.
According.
Learn ball.
Oh gosh.
Learn ball.
Trevor, I'm gonna let you pick the best transfer. What one do you want to do there? Don't tell me who. Don't just say who it is.
Who had Illinois winning the
Who's
title?
best transfer? I mean, one of them was Benham Rickhouse for transfer of the year.
Oh, my God.
I was going to say.
Oh,
okay,
my
okay.
God.
That was Fanta. That was
I-
we all knew that was Fanta.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah.
Okay,
What
he
in
said
the
Jacoby
world?
That was
Gillespie.
circulated
Did
in
we
the
drug
Illinois
test
sphere
that field of
throughout
68?
the year.
He said he
Clearly
was the
not.
Dalton Connect. He said Humber
Clearly
was the
not.
Dalton Connect.
What?
Okay, who said
Ben
Jacoby
Humbercroft's
Gillespie,
transfer
which
of the
was
year.
actually a good take
No,
Jacoby Gillespie.
was it transfer of the year or the next Dalton Connect?
for the transfer
Okay.
of the year.
Both, I think it
I mean,
was.
I think
Yeah, it
McCall
works
said,
both
didn't
ways.
McCall say J.P. Pegues?
I
He
can't
did
even
say
remember.
JP Pegues.
Oh.
He said put a small guard in a Bruce Pearl system and he would succeed.
So, wait, what was the,
He's
what
right,
was
he
the,
just
who
said
was
the
the
wrong
player?
Yeah.
guard.
Jacoby
Yeah.
Gillespie for transfer of the year. Somebody said it.
I don't know who did what.
Gillespie.
I'm just going to keep guessing RC until we actually get RC.
No, I think this was you. I think this was you.
Got me?
I think it was,
So
it was
we
you
got
or me.
Ant was not on the show.
I don't know who was on the
I
show.
said Ant. I said
He's a
Ant
Big
too.
Ten guy.
Ant was not on the show.
I don't know, I
Doster,
just said Ant.
RC. It was T.O. Or no, sorry. It was Rob. It was Rob.
me?
Excuse
Rob.
me.
Yeah,
It was
what?
Rob. It was
Yes.
Rob. Excuse me.
Hold on.
That was.
I guess me.
RDB.
I guess me.
All right, we'll do one more. Another transfer this year that was pretty solid, I would say. Ryan Conwell, who's now transferring again.
Ryan Conwell.
Ryan Conwell, best transfer.
That's a Fanta one. That's got to be Fanta.
Well, it's not Fanta because Fanta said Benham Rickhouse, so that's not correct. Goodman, me. I'm assuming that's Jeff Goodman, JG, and Rob doesn't count because he heard everybody else's answer. It is Jeff Goodman.
Jeff Goodman.
What did you write down? What did you write down?
No, that's
I wrote
good.
down Trevor Valise.
Good player.
I feel like we just.
That's all we got. I mean, I'm sure we had
I
plenty
just
more
feel like
bold
we needed
takes.
more diversity because was this all taken from one show?
Yes, it was a hot take show at the beginning of the
Next
year.
year we'll
Yeah.
Over the
we'll
course,
involve
we need to
everybody.
hire.
It was
let
a-
Connor go over the entire year of shows.
Okay,
Well, you'll
but I
have
don't
to
know about
find
all
it in the
that.
moment. If it's
Oh, we got more.
if it's bad in the moment.
Oh, we have more. Excuse me, we have more.
Okay.
I didn't know this. These are good ones. We can.
They've all been good.
We had good. No, like they aged well. We've had some good ones.
I don't like the ones that age well.
All right, here we go. Who said this? I don't think Cooper Flagg averages 22 a game, but I think he stuffs the stat sheet. I think he averages like 17, 8, 5, 2 across the board.
Me. That was me.
No.
That was me. I said it.
All right, so
That was me.
Latulip is rolling with us, or that is not right. It is
me.
RC that said that.
He and I were on the same page.
Rob thinks he said everything.
The Alex
Rob
Caravan
thinks
thing.
he said everything.
I need context for the Caravan thing because I never thought they were going to repeat.
First of all, the reason why you said him is because everybody else said Sears, Dickinson, or Flagg.
Okay.
So you said you want to be different.
Right,
You
maybe.
want like a value pick.
Yeah.
What if UConn wins it for the third straight year? Then you pick Caravan.
Hey,
You're
man,
so
hey,
upset about. You're
hey,
so
real
upset
quick,
about. You
real
say
quick.
one nice thing about UConn, and the world is coming to an end.
No, I
This is
think
like
we
John
should
Martin's
send this to
reaction after
Hurley.
getting out of the Uber yesterday. That is the only other time I've seen someone this upset.
Real quick, you can't be bringing off-air stuff on air. We love you, RC. We miss you. Wish you were here, man.
All right, we'll do.
That's
we'll
all
do-
you got. Is
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
Shout out RC.
I'm shouting out RC, a loyal employee of the
I
company.
wanted you to talk about
A friend.
the new vest that you have on today.
All right.
People
That is
can-
shocking. It is really hot outside. You're
People
wearing a
can
vest.
determine for themselves.
All right, here we go. Next one. North Carolina only wins one game in the NCAA tournament. If that, this team scares me.
What was the last one? This team stinks?
Scares me.
Oh, scares me.
Me. I said that.
It was a good take. It was.
Me.
North
down.
Carolina will win one game.
What if that? In the
Will
NCAA
win
tournament.
one game if that.
In the NCAA tournament, if that. Like,
Actually, that was probably RC too.
all right, so we got. Okay, I'm not gonna Doster, Goodman, RC, and Rob. That was indeed Rob.
Yeah.
Finally got one.
I know ball.
All right, and our final one. Todd Golden did an unbelievable job of addressing Florida's biggest needs. I think this is a sleeper team nationally.
Yes. See, I knew it. I knew someone said that. I knew
Who
someone
said it?
said that.
Who
That
said
was
it?
Goodman. I'm pretty sure that was you. I'm like 90% sure that was you. Was it Goodman?
Well, write it down and I'll tell you. That's the point of the game.
A lot of takes on the show.
A lot. Oh, there's probably
Yeah.
more if we go really
There's
go
a lot-
back.
There's definitely a lot more.
If we go back.
There were
McCall,
definitely some worse
RC, Goodman,
I'll go Jeff.
Jeff. Only one person got it correct. That is Matt McCall. Of course.
Should have known because it was Florida.
The Gator Homer.
That was dumb.
Right. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
even
the
count.
Homer. So,
Well,
that,
so
those
why
are,
did you
those are some
answer
of our
it
boldest
then?
takes.
You got it
Good and
wrong,
bad.
dumbass.
That is
Why
it.
don't you try to
Back
answer
to you,
it
John.
correctly? Wow.
Back to
well,
you.
what a game. What a game.
Wow.
I won.
No, you didn't.
I won.
No, you didn't. You got absolutely
I
boat
definitely
raced
did
by
not
me.
win. I know
I
that.
made a late stage
You did
rally
make a
here.
late- you
I made a late stage rally.
I won. I won for sure because I just guessed me every time and I had all the right takes.
Yeah. We got to do it next. I mean, obviously we don't keep score, but
Wow.
John Henson is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. North Carolina Tar Heel great. Man, where's the crowd at? Is this not a North Carolina crowd? Jeez. We got to get some Carolina fans in here for John Henson. Clearly.
John, they don't love you in your hometown, man. They don't love you here.
See?
All right, we're going to get Henson in.
Talk on the mic. Talk on the mic.
Come on. Switch out. Henson. Have him come in for me. Have him come
Got a
in.
break?
Are we, no, we're
Just
going
go
in,
in,
John.
Just go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, thanks for keeping the show nice and organized.
thanks, Jeff.
Goodman.
John
Much
Henson
appreciated.
in the
You
building.
have plans, you have schedules.
We
Can you
could've
take your
just-
trash
we
with
could've
you,
taken a
please,
break.
Goodman? Can you take your trash with you, Jeff? Unbelievable.
Yeah, please.
The show was going great, and then Goodman shows up and torpedoes.
Welcome into the show.
I got the throwback.
You do?
Field of 68
That's
polo
like
on.
the OG.
Nice.
Throwback.
Nike.
Are you drinking sweet tea? What do you got?
Nike.
I got a Red Bull and tequila.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What kind of time are you on tonight?
I've got a long day ahead of me.
Christ.
I got to go to the Spurs game.
You're going to the Spurs
sounds
game?
like a
Then
long
Carmelo,
day. That's
Carmelo
good.
Anthony's having like a little function for his Hall of Fame thing.
Well,
so
and you're going to make sure to be completely lit.
yeah. Well, I'm just going to float through it with this. I'm just going to float. Just going to float. We're missing the day party. Penny.
Yeah,
Leonard Hamilton's
I,
there. I heard he's got a section.
I had to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Leonard Hamilton.
I
is
wish I
Leonard
could be in
Hamilton
the
has a
section.
section. I got eyes in there.
Kelvin
Got
Sampson
eyes
was
in
supposed
there.
to fall
Kelvin
through there.
Sampson's in there.
Kelvin Sampson
the
going
Yale-
to day
the-
parties
the-
at the Final Four is
No
crazy.
The Yale coach. Hold on.
crazy.
I'm going to get my boy to send me the flyer. Just stand by.
Bro, is Kelvin Sampson really going through a day
Tell him
party?
he's on the flyer. Hold on.
I know he was.
Yeah.
But that just seems like the most anti-Kelvin Sampson thing in the history of the world. But he was on there. He was
Well-
promoted. Maybe that was set before the Final
Well, Houston
Four.
had a real practice today, so I don't know. He might be tired.
Yeah, he may just make
Houston had a real
you know,
practice today.
Yeah, they
shakes
had
hands,
their
gets a bait.
open session for the media and like diving on the floor, box out drills.
Oh,
They
like,
know one way. They only know one way.
Only know
That's
one
fine.
way.
They better get ready. They better have them legs.
That's what,
for Duke.
that's what
I'll tell
Buzz
you that.
Williams does for shoot-arounds the day of a game. Like 9 a.m. in the morning, physical like that. That's why Texas A&M is.
That's not sustainable.
Is that
as
why,
a-
so
as
you're
a player.
saying Maryland's going downhill?
You'll fizzle out, as you see his teams
Why?
do.
Why do you think they last? He only lasts like 5 years at every spot.
We had to say it at Carolina. You know, we're not here. We're not playing for September. We're playing for April.
Well, that's you can't say that anymore.
I'm just saying we used
You
to say
did.
that.
You did.
We're playing for April, so taped up shoot around practice is just not. You're gonna burn your players out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you agree with? Well, you know he did it,
Yeah.
and
It is
and
April.
we beat Marquette by 20 in
Damn.
the Sweet 16. I'm saying we did.
He didn't have a mic.
I know, but I'm saying like that could have been.
Yeah, get Terrell in here.
I'm saying that like they could have been burnt out. We
I
beat
wasn't
them
a part of that though. I just got to clarify.
Yeah.
I got to clarify. But
Just
no,
saying.
I agree. I agree, and I think eventually the miles add up. A lot of teams traditionally that go that hard consistently, you see late injuries at the worst time of the year, or guys kind of just beat up and banged up throughout the course of the year. They never get back to 100% too. So I mean, I agree to a certain extent.
We saw we played Marquette in Sweet 16. We were fresher, straight up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
By the way, you guys got a big, thank God.
Oh yeah, big fella from Arizona.
You guys were
dropping
hurting.
that bag on boys.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you. Hey.
Mike LaTulip called him a combination of Shaq and Hakeem.
Whatever he's about to say, I did not say that.
Shaq and Hakeem.
I did not say
that.
that.
Of Caucasian.
I actually didn't say
I
that.
give him like a Brady Manick and a great value Kalkbrenner. A great value.
Hey, here's $2 million.
It go to bag.
I also found out. Did you guys know Warren Buffett's bankrolling Creighton? Nobody knew that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Creighton?
Found it out today.
Creighton? Is that where all the money
Berkshire Hathaway?
Did you know that?
I don't think I knew that.
You knew that?
He's from Omaha.
I'm just
He loves
saying,
Creighton.
nobody knew that. I found it out today. So
I knew they had money.
Back.
Needless to say, Kalkbrenner's probably got more money than a lot of professional players. That's from what I hear. So
He got paid. Good for him.
Yeah. So you like the addition?
Vsar, you like
I like it. We need a presence. That helps. He can shoot the ball a little bit as well. So
He's a modern day big.
yeah, he's a modern big.
So Rob and I were talking
Is he a top 15 portal guy?
Oh yeah.
Top 10 maybe?
Yeah. In my book, that's all that matters.
Jim Tanner, Hubert Davis.
It's a fit.
Trying
thing
to tell
for him.
you.
It's
a
a great
fit thing for him.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a fit that makes it, I think,
Yeah,
one
like
of the
if
best.
you're talking about just in a vacuum, if you are starting a team from scratch, who are you picking, right? Who are you grabbing? I don't know if he's a top 15 guy there, but in terms of filling a need that a program had, like he's one of the top probably 5 guys for that role that they need, if that makes sense. So same thing as I'm going to keep making the Demery joke to UConn, but he fills the void that they needed there. Bennett Sturts to Iowa probably isn't like a top 5 player in the portal, but Ben McCollum getting him, that was probably the most important guy you could get. So
And
love the fit, man.
They've got a top 5 recruit class or top 10 recruit class too. So you know.
Are those freshmen coming back? Who's coming back? Have they announced that yet? Ian Jackson, Drake Powell.
I think Ian posted something like running it back or something like that. Something inning that he was coming back. I think the freshman kid Caleb Wilson maybe. He's a number 1 maybe top 10 guy,
good.
power forward. So.
He's good.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, think about the Final Four. Houston, 2 bigs. Duke, Duke, 2 bigs.
Facts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Auburn, 2 bigs. Florida, 2 bigs. I mean, those are high priority guys in the portal. I mean, we can talk about Silas Demery, obviously a great addition, but it's interesting the way the game's moving.
talked about Silas Demery.
Yeah.
We talked enough about Silas.
No, I know.
It is interesting though. We probably haven't talked about that enough. Like how?
I think we have.
No, not
Talk about
Silas.
who?
Not Silas.
I don't got the
Sorry.
earpiece,
No,
so I
no.
can't hear.
So last night he got Silas Demery's name tattooed on his ass.
Oh, okay. I respect it.
I was in a state where if you told me to, I probably would have, John. All right, we're going to go to break. On the other side, we are going to talk with the big man about playing with 2 big guys on a basketball team in college basketball in 2025.
Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
People have opinions about me, strong ones. Some compare my brand to the competition and call me a copycat. Some say that I'm just watered down, that I fall flat. I've heard it all. But the people who get me, they say I'm different, subtle, but balanced. Nothing to hide, nothing artificial. And once they give me a chance, they keep coming back for more. For more dad water. That's right, I'm talking about dad water, and I swear by it. No bubbles, no fizz, just a smooth, refreshing canned cocktail made with real tequila. 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Find Dad Water's 4 flavors in an 8-pack variety pack or single flavor 6-packs. Dad Water invites you to enjoy its great lineup of products all tournament long. Take it from me, Jeff Goodman. Sometimes the most polarizing things are the best things. Dad Water, tequila, water, natural flavors.
Well, welcome back to the Field of 68 live from the Final Four. We are here at Smoke Sky Bar hanging out for the next 90 minutes or so. Jarrell McNeil, John Henson, Mike Latulip. My name is Rob Dosser. John Barton had to go refill his beer bucket. He's only had 4 today, so we got to make sure that he's up to his level. Hair of the dog. We were talking before we went to break, guys, about these 2 big lineups that we're seeing more in college basketball, and I don't think that it's necessarily a coincidence that 3 of the 4 best teams in college basketball play 2 bigs. You could say Duke does with Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, I don't know if he's a big. You call him what you want, but
he's a big in college basketball. I guess.
He's big.
I mean, coming from the original 2 big school,
Well, so it's back, John.
It's back. I mean, Coach Wimby said, "I cannot win without 2 bigs." He said, "I cannot win a national championship without." That was his motto, and that's what he recruited by. And I think it has something to do with defensively. Obviously, if you have 2 bigs, it's better. And then your whole team's in 1 possession. That's big in college basketball. If you can hold them to 1 shot, 1 possession, and get out, and you have the dynamic guard play and you have the talent, you're going to have a chance to win. So it makes sense.
I think part of it, too, is everything is cyclical in college basketball. Like, everybody was going to how small can we get, small ball.
Absolutely.
Or maybe we'll go, 4 out, 1 in. Now, I actually think part of it, and I agree with Henson, there's definitely like the defensive side of limiting teams to 1 shot. But how about when the analytics age was moved in and teams start shooting more threes, 100%. Offensive rebounding becomes more important.
Yeah.
So now you get 2 bigs out on the floor to try to get more offensive rebounds, to create more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. That's what I think. There's a lot of reasons why, but I think those are a couple right there.
And I think that's a great point. Is just how you see things come in and go out. It's like a circle. You know what I mean? Like
Bruce Pearl's running flex.
Yeah. One second, right. We used to be pissed playing Bo Ryan in the swing offense, which is very similar. Don't get me wrong, some slight differences and things like that as far as pace of play, but things they all come around full circle. For a while here, we kind of got into it, even like when we played. Like our style of play was essentially based off of the early Villanova teams with Jay Wright. He was the first guy to go 4 guards, essentially. With
facts.
Allen Ray, Kyle Lowry, Randy Noy, Randy Ford.
Allen Ray,
and I just messed up all their names. But, our team was kind of built in that same circumference. We went 4 guards, 4 guys that could dribble, pass, and shoot. We had tried to go like 1 big guy or relatively big guy, which we never had great size. So it also helps play into our strengths as well too. But I think the biggest thing, and this is what I'll ask you specifically, John, how much does it matter when you are playing with the 2 bigs that one of those guys is able to stretch the floor?
Now it matters a lot more. But when I was playing, I started to step out and hit the mid-range. Now, coach didn't necessarily wanted me to shoot that, but I was trying to go to the lead.
100.
So if I got a good look, I'm shooting it. And for the most part, if it was a good shot within the system, he didn't really fret too much. And then, also me and Z just had a really good – we meshed well together. I would look for him. I would high lows. You have to be able to do that as well.
Right.
And I think Duke does that with their big passing, the lobs. So, it's give and take because you can win with 4 guards now. But, in the college game where possession, and defense kind of something that's kind of taken over a little bit. The bigs they're in vogue right now, and the bigs tend to stay longer, so they're going to be more effective. They're going to be better players. So, I think we talked about with Baycoat, like the big is back that year with Baycoat, and all those bigs kind of started getting the NIL and staying in school. We're seeing the effects of it now.
I think it's because in the NBA, the way that teams are built now, they've kind of solved basketball, right? I think we talked about this the other day, John, where you get 6'8" guys that can all make threes, are all switchable, can play off the dribble, and you put 5 of them on the floor, and you switch everything, and that's just how you play. 5 guys in that mold, space, make threes, and you get one guy that can create shooters around them. That's what you do in the NBA. Everyone does it. Everyone's trying to do it. There's none of those guys left in college because they're all going to the league, right? And players like big guys like Ryan Kalkbrenner and Hunter Dickinson and Zach Edey of that ilk are kind of phased out as a result of that. So since you don't have the players that allow you to play like the analytics revolution style of basketball, you got to find something else to do. And you have all of these really good bigs and enough good point guards that this is kind of happening. I think that's what you're seeing with the big guys being around. And I do think – go ahead, Jerome.
God, I'm just going to make a point. I'm just going to say that because this is just something that I strongly have an opinion about as far as the style of play. NBA is a copycat league, and everybody tries to play that way, but 90% of the teams don't have success doing it. What I will say is this. You look at the 2 most dominant players in the NBA, and they are 2 guys that do the exact opposite of what every other NBA team is trying to do.
2 best teams right now have 2 bigs.
The Joker and Embiid. Unstoppable because essentially they were saying the big man was dead. Nobody posts up anymore. Everybody's playing 5 out. So, okay, I got these guys, and we're going to throw it and run our offense through them, whether it be the corner stuff with the old Rick Adelman stuff with Joker or just low post-ups. But it makes a team have to guard that, especially in the playoffs when the game slows down. So, like, we had people questioning whether Zach Edey was going to be an NBA player. Let's be real. And he changes the game when he's in. Like, somebody has to account for him on the other end as well, too. So I get the analytics, but I think too much of it goes into guys not understanding matchups. Like, that's why basketball is a beautiful game. It's a number of different ways that you can do things. It's about matchups. It's always going to be about, okay, we can score on you, but can we stop you? So.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing, for the record, Duke is the only team that's built like that right now. They're built like an NBA team in terms of like 6'5", 230, Shamon James is a point guard,
with
right?
an anchor.
Yeah, and you got a guy in the middle, and if you want to like bring in Malik Brown, you switch everything 1 through 5, and you got no problem because everybody can guard up and guard down. But I think what we're seeing with the 2 bigs in college is teams have kind of figured out the way that you can maximize the three-point shot in the college game is pound the offensive glass and get those kick-out threes. Florida loves doing it, right? Alabama loves doing it.
Florida's always done it, too. That was a Billy Donovan staple. You get a rebound, Lee Humphries. It's the best time to shoot a 3 off an offensive rebound.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that 2 of the most forward-thinking coaches in terms of the way that they think about the game and the analytics of the game are Nate Oates and Todd Golden. And I think a lot of teams are starting to do some of the stuff that Alabama does, and I think that's what we're seeing with Florida. Not as much with Houston, but I don't think it's a coincidence. You had a whole bunch of guys get on the offensive glass, and now Kelvin this year, when maybe the best team he's had, has 3 guys on the perimeter that shoot at like 40%.
I think systems too. I talked about the simplifying of systems as it pertains to the portal yesterday. Like, you need to simplify your systems to be able to get going quicker. There's no longer like, hey, come in and learn our system. By your sophomore year, you'll have it down. Like, you need to know it now. So it's offenses are just they're very vanilla in a way. Like, we run zoom, or we run all these different just high ball screens, or just come down secondary transition, run some drag screens. And then I think that allows you to put that personnel back on the floor as well, because like when the Warriors went small during the death lineup era, there was a very dynamic, complex offense to what they did. And because they had shooting and guys that could step out and play make, like the guys that couldn't shoot at a high rate, Iggy could shoot a little bit, Draymond could obviously shoot a little bit, but they were great playmakers. So like you need to have that type of makeup. So when it shifted, I think, to more of the analytics era, like I talked about, and you're shooting threes like that, part of it is the simplified offenses that we have that I think allows that the 2 big lineup to come back onto the floor like we've seen.
You need, but one of them's got to be like you. The thing that's unique about Houston with this Final Four is they got one guy that just can't really do much, or two guys that can't really do much else. Like you need another guy in there that can that you can pull away from the basket and make. That's what Janai Brew does, right? His value is not just throw it to him on the block. You know, he's mobile. You can set screens with him. He can roll up the rim. He can pass. You got Alex Condon can do that for Florida. Obviously, Cooper can do that for Duke.
The biggest back. I mean, it's just.
That's the headline.
We talk about old school. The most effective offense I've ever been a part of for my college professional. We ran floppy.
Yeah.
That was the most effective offense of my whole career. So, if you have the right personnel,
explain what that is. What floppy is.
Floppy. Two guys pinned down. You have a shooter coming off the screen. You roll. He can make the play. The defense has to help. If he can shoot, if he's a shooter, the big man defender steps up. You drop that off. If he comes over, you kick it to the corner. So, I mean, it's an effective play.
And the reason it's tough to guard is for guys like Henson. When you're setting the pin down, it's a cleared side.
There's O.J. Mayo coming off of it.
When he comes up, when he's coming off a curl, you straight cut, you have a cleared side on that side. Tennessee ran it a ton this year. We saw them have a ton of success.
If you want to know what floppy is, just go back and watch literally any possession that Tennessee played this entire season.
Chaz Lanier.
And it's like that in the NBA for a reason, and John spoke to it, is because it's no longer about the plays, it's about the personnel.
Yeah.
You got the best players in the world. So a basic high ball screen or a floppy action is really freaking hard to guard if you got the right guys that are coming off them screens and the big guys that can make plays. All these guys have size.
Why overcomplicate it?
There's no reason to. At the highest level, things kind of go back to the base foundation of basketball. Basic stuff, America's play, cross screen, down screen. It's a bitch to guard it because
we don't need to get into all this action to get Luka.
Right.
Nice.
No, the play was the Dirk play. Look, Dirk is a pin down on the baseline, pin down on the elbow. What side you want to guard?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna go that way, and you knew it was coming. You couldn't stop it. They won a ring.
Yep. So, of all of these front lines, I want you each to make a pick. Who has the best bigs? Who are those two? The two starters. You take Juwan Roberts, Javier Francis, Cooper Flag, Kamamalo.
Probably the two top 5 picks.
It's got to be Duke. It's got to be Duke.
It's got to be Duke.
Because
but
look,
right now, look, they have the most talent.
And it's him. It's strictly because of Cooper Flag's ability.
Yeah.
He is the wild card that. Don't get me wrong. All of them have really good bigs, and they have great front courts. To be honest with you, but
all right. So Jarrell, who's got the worst front line? Who's got the worst front? Who's getting exposed?
Houston has the worst offensive front line, but maybe the best defensive front line.
Yeah.
Houston's just very limited offensively. When a lot of the other front lines pretty dynamic.
You're right.
On the offensive side.
I agree.
It depends like how you want to categorize Florida's front line because Chinyelu is in there with Condon, but then they really they will in this Auburn game. They're going to go to Condon and Houck, and that's a much tougher cover I think for Auburn than the starting two. So it's got to be Duke just because of I think that how dynamic they are on both ends, and I do think Malawach, he's going to be one of those guys when he's in his second or third season in the league. Because I bet he's going to start stepping out when he gets to the league. He's going to be shooting it. Mm-hmm. And I think it, again, speaks to these dudes that have bought into their roles. Because we're going to look back on this Duke team and be like man, Malawach really bought into what he had to do just as a paint protector.
And we undervalued him during the current time, and he may end up, out of everybody, being the most dynamic pro.
It's
a possibility.
Kind of like Tatum.
It's a possibility.
Tatum had all that.
Yeah, you look at him,
He played within what they wanted, the confines 100%. Of what they wanted him to do. And Boston knew. Because they were trying to move up for him, and when they found out they were going to draft, they knew.
And what were the two picks before him, John?
Ball and
Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball.
Fultz and Ball, yeah.
Didn't Boston move back?
Boston moved back.
They
traded.
Boston. They said Brad Stevens knew what he was.
Yeah. So. That's still the wildest part. Like Boston wanted Jason Tatum. They knew they could get him at 3. They traded down, and they ended up getting the guy that is he the best player in the NBA right now?
Tatum?
Where's he ranked?
In the NBA?
Where's he ranked?
Top 10-ish? Top 10-ish? Top 10-ish?
No, I would say top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
I'd put him probably top 7. I'd say so for me he's like 7-8
ish.
So who
got to really break it down though.
Giannis. I'm gonna go Luka. Jokic.
I'd still take Steph.
I healthy Embiid.
SGA.
SGA for sure.
Yeah. Say Steph. I'd still take Steph.
I'm taking Steph. I'm taking Kawhi too. I'm taking Kawhi too.
Kawhi been balling lately.
KD.
Taking KD.
KD.
At the moment.
LeBron.
Bron. So yeah, he's right there. He's right in the
I
front.
will say though, and this is like not to get into the whole Tatum conversation, but one thing we saw KD, who's currently injured, Embiid, who's currently injured. Tatum's been pretty damn durable his whole career.
He plays
he'll
consistently
play.
hard every night. So I do really respect that aspect of it. In this day and age, it's not a lot of guys that are playing
They got a great
hard
team,
consistently. He plays on back-to-backs. Even when he hurts himself, he comes back as soon as possible. Like, you know, and they're really in a situation now where he doesn't have to. Like, he has other pieces. Like, their team is good enough to win games, if we're being honest, without him.
Yeah,
We name all top 75 players ever. So
yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, it's not a slight to say he's not top 10. Like,
He's top 10ish.
I think he's top 10.
It's not a slight.
I think he's top 10.
The guy that I think is the best example of a player buying into a role like that is Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis, when he was at Kentucky, he was what's the stat? Like, he was the 5th in shot attempts on a team that won the national championship. He was National Player of the Year. I think he averaged like 14 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, something like that. John, you saw that team play. Did you know how good he was while that was happening, like during that season, during that run? Did you?
For me, I saw the bones of what he could become. He had a really nice stroke. He was athletic. He rebounded out of his area. So you saw with a little work what he could and what he has become. And yeah, I think the thing for me was just how he affected the game on the defensive side. And then offensively, he was just scratching the surface, averaging 14 points a game in college, which, as you know, that's tough. 14 is tough in college. So you saw it.
All within the game, too.
Yeah.
It was all within the game.
No plays ran for him.
Yeah.
Just within the flow. So didn't surprise me.
Yeah,
he came out of nowhere, too.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up in the Chicagoland area. This dude, his sophomore year, I think, was 6 foot.
Yeah.
And then he sprouted and became the number 1 player in the country. What felt like almost overnight.
It was crazy. So just a quick story. When I was coming out of college and I was doing my pre-draft stuff, because AD is obviously probably the best player to come through our Main Streets program as well, too. But nobody knew about him like Mike spoke to.
Yeah.
I was doing my workouts, preparing for like all my pre-draft stuff. And my guy who did my workouts was one of our guys, one of my old coaches from Main Streets who now works at Nike. But he brought him in the gym, and he's like 6'8", already just super long, skinny. And he's like, real, 2 years he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And he like worked out with me, and I'm like looking at his skill set, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I saw him play once he got to Kentucky, and like you spoke to, Rob, the impact he made on that team, and just even to this day on the game, without it all just being points, the rebound and the defense. Like, in my opinion, it's a travesty that he doesn't have a Defensive Player of the Year award, because realistically, I think he's the only guy.
He does. He does have a Defensive Player of the Year award, doesn't he, Henson?
Who?
No, NBA.
No, I'm saying he has a Defensive.
His college.
See, now you're taking shots, huh?
No, John Henson got robbed, man.
John
He
said
got
that
robbed.
was his award.
He got robbed.
He said so I mean, for the most part though, he's the only guy that could guard 1 through 5, and I think his value is he's still kind of undervalued for everything that he brings to the table.
Yeah. How do you, when you watch Cooper Flagg play, right, and the way that he kind of buys into the team concept and the idea that his best skill set is the impact that he has on everybody around him, and oh, by the way, he also happens to be like a great offensive player too. I see a lot of similarities with the way that Cooper Flagg fits in with his Duke team, and they're obviously different players, right? But and then Anthony Davis buying in. When you have a guy that is that level, that you know is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, that you know has the opportunity to be like a National Player of the Year caliber guy, that is accepting a role, that is doing the dirty work defensively, that is not all about me, how does that impact rosters? I'm all three you guys. You all three played high major level.
You win. I mean, I think about Tim Duncan, how Coach Pop, was like, look, he allowed me to coach everyone else hard because he allowed me to coach him hard. And if Pop can yell at Tim Duncan and Tim Duncan shuts up and buys in and falls in line and plays hard, plays the right way, if you don't do that, you'll be gone or you won't play. But it just spreads. And so that's what happened with this Duke team. I mean, Cooper Flagg makes everyone better. And if you don't fall in line, this all-world player, National Player of the Year, is taken to the coaching and our system and what we want him to do. I mean, Shires had to tell him a lot of times, right, like, shoot more, be more aggressive. So did not tell Giannis that, so it's a little different. But, you know, he elevated us with his play and being allowed to coach him, and that's what's going on with Duke.
Those are the easiest teams to coach because once he sets that standard that your best player and your most talented guy is going to go hard, he's going to be coachable, and it's a lot easier to hold the rest of the guys in the locker room to that same exact standard. And I think, you know, Michael Jordan said it best in The Last Dance, where he was just like, I never asked a teammate to do shit that I wasn't doing. And once you get to get down to the bones of it and you put it that way, it's either you're going to do it this way because our best guy's doing it, or you're going to get the hell out of here. Or it's not going to work and you're not going to make it. So I always think it makes it easier. Like John said, it's one of the biggest parts of having a coach or winner.
I think from a buy-in standpoint too, and you two could probably speak to this more than I could, because your teams were more successful. Your Marquette team and your North Carolina teams were more successful than the Illinois teams I was on. But I do feel like there's a feeling that you might get when the group understands that you can get to that ultimate destination. And if you can do that, that allows guys to buy in more, because you don't want to be the guy that doesn't get you there. Like this, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, did you feel that when you were Carolina Marquette?
I was the third guy. I was the third option.
Yeah.
It was Big Z, it was HB, and I say option, there wasn't no plays drawn up for me. I just had to trust the system, trust my work, trust my teammates, and it all worked out. I was never worried about my individual success, because we had a saying that the winners get the awards and the rewards. And that was our motto. So we knew if we all won, play fast. That was another thing. Coach was like, y'all want to score, play faster. So we bought into that, and we never had an issue. I think Z averaged 18, Harrison averaged 18, I think I averaged 12 and 13. You know, so we had 5 guys in double figures, and there was always enough balls. So, you know, that's a good point.
I think that's why when teams start losing, the agendas become more individual.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, and then you, like, that's why teams start to splinter.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, shoot, if it's not going to go for the good for the team, I at least want it to go good for me. And I think that's how teams can fall apart during the season.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about these matchups and who we think is going to win. It's the Final Four, baby, live. Smoke Sky Bar here in San Antonio.
The teams that win consistently are not just the most talented teams. They're the ones where the coaches truly understand their players. That's why we're excited to partner with Profile. They're changing the game with their behavioral assessment tools that help coaches connect with their athletes on a deeper level. We're thrilled to announce that Profile CEO Chad Brown is going to be joining us at our Final Four event in person in San Antonio. With the transfer portal and NIL deals, coaches need every single advantage that they can get. Profile helps programs cut through the noise and understand exactly what motivates each player and what development strategies are going to work best for them. We've talked to coaches nationwide who say that Profile has transformed how they evaluate in the portal and develop their players. Instead of guessing, they have real insights into what makes each one of those human beings tick. Whether you're coaching at the college level or want to understand the blueprint behind great teams, check out profilebehavior.com to learn more about Profile. Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you, so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. I want my home to feel like my home. So whether I'm looking for big furniture, just a small piece for my place, or maybe some storage solutions for the basement or the garage, the answer is Wayfair. Seriously, I needed a new patio set and fire pit for my backyard. I bought it on Wayfair. It looks great on our deck, and it gives me an excuse to fire up the smoker, invite some friends over, crack a couple beers. Just last week, I bought a new chair for my office, someplace comfortable to sit while the madness takes up the 4 screens in front of me. I got it on Wayfair, clicked a few buttons. A couple days later, it showed up at my front door. They even offered to help set it up for you. Digging through online stores can be intimidating. Trust me, I know. It can be hard to find what you're looking for in your price range, but not on Wayfair. They have great options, even if you are balling on a budget like me. Wayfair has every style for every home, including mine and yours. So head to wayfair.com and shop everything home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
Welcome back, Field of 68, here live in San Antonio. This is day 3. The basketball games will be played tomorrow. We're super excited. We're going to have a pregame show. We'll be in a different locale tomorrow, but looking forward to that. But for now, our producers had the brilliant idea. We're going to put everybody's GM abilities to the test. Goodman loses.
I'm worried about Henson.
John Henson, Jeff Goodman, Jerome McNeil.
I'm worried. He's
myself,
not going to take
John
Duke
Martin.
players.
I got offered a college GM job. I don't know about Jeff.
I was a hell of a fantasy football GM. You know that?
John Henson has been offered the GM job at Memphis.
Oh,
his hometown.
That'd be nice.
One of his hometowns. So the charge is we're each going to do a snake draft, like, you know, Goodman's losing fantasy football teams. And we're going to see who's got the best one. I think it's only fair that I get to start. That I get to start.
Go ahead.
It's Cooper Flag.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys
Congratulations,
so much.
John.
Go ahead and write it down. Write
Sure,
it down.
John.
And then Henson, we're going to go in order.
I got broom. Can we just put our on our board, right? We don't got to.
You in a tough spot here, Joe.
I know.
I got a guy too. You better pick him. You better not let him get back to me.
So easy.
Don't let me make a steal here.
A little bit tough, doesn't it?
Who is the third best player?
Walt. I'm going with big game Walt.
Nice.
Clayton.
Walter Clayton Jr., hard to argue with the way he's played. He's been amazing.
Guard.
There's better guys in the top 3.
Yeah, you're not going to.
You're thinking from a pro perspective.
Yeah.
You're thinking from pro perspective.
Okay.
All right, Jarrell.
That's tough.
You get 2 in a row.
You get 2.
So
You get doubles.
Yeah, you get 2. Yeah. Snake draft.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Give me. I'll take Elijah Martin.
Okay.
Oh, my. Oh, yes. I love that. I know Jeff's not picking this guy.
He started for 2 Final Four teams.
And I'll take Malawach.
Damn it.
Man, off the board. A nice draft, a nice turn for
Okay,
Jarrell
we're gonna
McNeil. Jeff, you're up.
I'm going to take Khan.
Nice.
Who's he got?
Knipple.
Oh, Con.
My
Okay.
backcourt's
Yeah.
Your backcourt's going to stink.
I'm going Milo Suzan.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I
like it, John.
I saw him shoot the piss out the ball today.
Yeah.
Today is how we
Man.
said.
Yeah.
All right, this is tough. Give me Alex Condon and Jawan Roberts.
That's a nasty front line. I don't like that.
That's a big lineup.
Okay, we need a little size. I got my 1-2 punch.
I won the draft, by the way. It's over. It's over.
Let's go. I'm going Will Richard.
Hey, microwave.
It's tight. I'm trying to tell you.
He hasn't been hot, though. He has not been hot lately. Jeff, who do you like?
Clayton.
Somebody help him out. Call a lifeline.
Clayton. Con.
Go here.
You got Ruben Chinyelu.
We're doing 5 people, guy. Right?
Yeah.
5.
I'm going to go Joseph Tugler.
Tugler.
Yep. Stud.
Tugs.
Best defensive player in this.
Jeff's getting fired. This is an offensive draft.
I got scoring. I got defense.
That's cool.
I'm good.
I mean, he needed it.
I'm dominant.
He needed it.
Elijah Martin.
He needed to go. He needed some presence defensively. Because Walter Clayton and Con were not going to get it done for him.
Good.
All right, Jarrell, you got 2.
That's tough. Give me LJ Cryer.
Who is it?
Cryer.
Oh, okay, LJ, yep.
Ooh. That next one is tough.
LJ's a 3rd-team All-American. That's good value.
I want some more size, but I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, you got man. That's a good start.
Yeah, I need some more size.
It's your last pick.
Tugler, yeah, that is. No, I'll get one
he's
more.
got one more after.
5.
This will be 4.
Oh, you get one
Oh,
more.
no, he
Can't
does. Yeah,
count.
you're right. My bad.
In
You
Memphis,
got one more
they
pick.
can't count.
I'm gonna regret this probably.
Who?
Give me Miles Kelly.
Okay. All right. I
Miles
like
Kelly.
it. I actually like that a lot. Goodman, you're up.
I'm going to go
He needs rosters. He
I'm gonna
needs some
go-
rosters.
Thomas Howard.
That's a bad pick. You could have got him in the last round. I'm going Tyrese Proctor.
Yep. All right.
I know my last round pick. I'm good. You ain't taking him.
Okay.
All right. Tahad.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tahad Pettiford.
I was on the fence with that.
I need a 2-guard. Chad Baker Mazzara, bitch. How you like that? How you like that? I want it. I need it. I'm being told to tone it down. But CBM for me.
You know, I'm going to finish it out. I'm going to have a kind of a fire and ice. We're going Chinyelu.
That's a good
Okay.
pick. That's a
Yeah,
good
come
pick.
on now.
I like it.
I'm building a roster. I'm John Shire. I'm
No,
not
I
just
like
picking
it.
the
I
best
like
guys.
it.
Trying to think who's left.
Yeah, you gotta, you got Denver Jones. Solid guard. Huh? He sent me the pick? Oh, you say, he doesn't know it. He has no idea.
You said you knew who you were
Pettiford.
picking.
I already
That was
took
going
him.
to be my pick. That was going to be my pick. I didn't think you'd take him. What else we got? Auburn. Denver Jones.
You gotta bring the envelope to the stage, Jeff.
What great
I'm
TV we
working.
have
Hold
going on
hold
here. What great content.
Let me
His
think.
draft was awful.
Dude, I'm just putting the ball in Walt's hands at the end anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Don't
not going to
matter.
work against our teams.
I'll go.
Tugler and Hall. You got two guys, two kind of semi bench guys.
Hello.
I'm gonna go Denver Jones for the best defender, perimeter defender in this draft.
Thank you so much.
You got to score the ball at some point, Jeff.
Yeah, who's going to do it more?
Yeah.
I got
He's
Clayton
got
and
2
Con.
scores. He's got 2 scores.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Oh,
fit.
my bad. Yeah.
Walt's too ball
I got-
dominant.
You're right.
My last. I'm going Sion James.
I like that.
Sion James.
All right. So listen, let's go through these one by one. JM, Cooper Flagg, Alex Condon, Jawan Roberts, Tahad Pettiford, Chad Baker-Mazzara.
Worried about your shooting.
John Henson, Janai Broom, Milos Uzan, Will Richard, Tyrese Proctor, Ruben Chinyalu, Jeff Goodman, Walter Clayton Jr., Con Knipple, Joseph Tugler, Haw, Jones, Denver Jones, and then Jarrell, Elijah Martin, Kaman Malawach, LJ Cryer, Miles Kelly, and Sion James.
This is pretty good. Everyone's got a pretty.
I think Jeff's was
Well, it's
objectively the worst. You had the worst team.
F you.
Tugler.
No, I mean, am I right or wrong?
I got great defense, though. I got
Jeff's team is the
two
worst by
big-time
far.
scorers apiece, and the two best
This team
defenders
scored
here.
68 points a game.
Like if anybody should appreciate defense, it might be the guy to my right.
But this is what? This is Jeff's
Con
team.
can
Right
guard.
here? Where's Jeff's team?
That's Jeff.
Yeah, that's me.
Walt and Con are not defenders.
Are not what? Walt's not. Con's okay.
Hall's okay. Denver Jones. Where's your defense?
Denver Jones awesome.
He's
What are you
okay.
talking about? No. He shuts everybody down.
He's okay.
Everybody down.
I don't know.
And Tugler.
Did he make all defensive SEC?
I
Denver
might
Jones?
have.
I don't think so.
I got the two best defenders in this.
Wait, who's the two?
I got the two best.
Who's the second?
Yeah, who's the second?
Tugler and Denver Jones.
Jones didn't even make all
are the two
defensive.
best.
He didn't
He's
make
the
all
best
defensive.
perimeter defender.
So now we're just making up shit.
No, he is. Watch him. Watch him.
Denver Jones is fine. He's a good point guard.
Awesome.
He's a good point
defensively.
guard. He's a good point guard. I think you lost the draft.
Oh, I value defense.
Yeah.
John Henson doesn't.
All right. So
He did as a player.
you said you were worried about
what
shooting
happened.
on my team. Why are you worried about a team that has Cooper Flagg, Tahad Pettiford, and Chad Baker-Mazzara?
No, it's not a lot.
You're right.
We have his shooting. And Alex Condon.
We zoning you.
Denver Jones all SC all defense though.
Of course he is.
You're right.
He's like, I'm telling you, he's a top 3 perimeter defender in the
I'll give you that.
country.
I'll give you that.
Look at who he shut down this year.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And how's not going to blow you away, but he's been playing.
Denver
over
Jones.
the last month.
On my day, on my team, we don't like this Denver Jones.
All right.
Too little.
Not anymore.
It's too little.
Not anymore.
It's too little. Come on, man.
All right, so Henson had Janai Broom, Milos Uzan, Will Richard, Tyrese Proctor. I see the vision.
Yes.
I see the vision.
Yes. We shooting lights out perimeter. We got a guy down there we can throw to, and then we got a monster on the boards.
All right. I got a question for you. Other than Cooper Flagg, who is the player who will have the best NBA career out of everybody in this?
Con Knipple.
Con Knipple will. Who's he like? Who does he remind you of?
He's like a thicker. It's like a thicker, more athletic Kyle Singler. Bigger, stronger.
Shoots it better.
He's like Kyle Singler if he was 6'8", 245.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
He's not as tall. He's not as
You
tall
think
as
he's more
Singler,
athletic?
though.
You think he's more athletic than
He's
Singler?
only like 6'5".
Singler was pretty.
Con Knipple's 6'5".
Feels bigger than that.
He's
though.
like 6'8".
I know they list him at like 6'8".
BS.
I want to stand next to him.
BS.
I got to see that.
Please
I
do.
got him with
Please
you.
do.
I
Yeah.
gotta wait for the draft measurements.
Yeah. That's all you got to do,
6'8".
John. You know
Like
they don't lie.
everybody says 6'8". I've never stood next to him, but I feel like he's probably closer to 6'6".
He's not that tall. Don't get me wrong, good body. I'll say, my bad, and I don't want to jump. Give me either Pettiford, and I might be crazy for saying that, but I think the transition to NBA, he's going to be one of the guys that kind of in space, athleticism, can shoot it.
I like his demeanor, and when I hear him talking, his demeanor and his answers and his mind of the game, I see a pro.
And let me ask you about this one, because this is one of your guys too, John. I like Uzan. I think he
I saw
good pro,
I saw
man.
him today, and I was just sitting in practice, and he just stood out.
He was your second-round pick.
His movements, the way he shot the ball, his energy, his size.
Yeah,
he's a little bigger than I thought he
Oh,
was.
yeah, man.
Yes, listen, I told my boys, I said, look, take us over. It's 12 points. He's going to have more than 12 tomorrow. I promise. You'll have more than 12.
I mean, honestly, let's all have an answer for who had the best draft. You can't answer. I mean, you can't answer for yourself, I guess, but let's not do that. Let's answer for somebody else. You can't say yourself. I'll start. I can't name myself. I'm gonna go Henson had the best draft.
Yeah, I'm going to Walt, Con, Elijah Martin, LJ, Milo. Well, we know Jeff had, so really it's between Jarrell and John. I'm going to have to go with Flag.
Me too. Me too. I mean,
Cooper
you got
Flag,
the easy one.
You got the number one pick.
Right.
Still drafted well, though.
You got the
You
number
got
one
number
pick.
2, and there's a clear
I got
1-2.
Chad Baker-Mazara in the last round.
But for the fourth pick on the snake draft,
You're right.
Jarrell did his thing.
No, Jarrell put together an Elite Eight team.
I tried to play it as best as I could.
Yeah, no, you put together an Elite Eight team.
I
I mean, honestly, you're well coached. You're
Who's
sound.
your point guard, though? Who's your point guard?
LJ.
Not really a point.
No, he's not.
Elijah's not a point.
Zion James.
I would probably let Elijah initiate.
Right. But neither one.
That's Zion. He's running point guard now.
All of them are like capable, but none of them are really points who make guys better.
Right.
Consistently. None of them.
You took Walter Clayton from me, the pick.
Yeah, I mean, Clayton, listen, Clayton, Kahn, you might say like how I needed a guy who could kind of.
I mean, man at.
And then Denver
last
Jones
pick
was a
second
tough
round
one.
is like elite value.
I don't know.
That was
guard. We're gonna guard.
I think man was the value pick of the draft.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted.
That he went 8?
We got our anchor on the snake.
I mean, Goodman would have been better off drafting him 3rd.
He would.
No, I had to have Walt.
Because I was going to take
Clayton.
Yeah, if not, if he would
But
have
I mean,
took
did
him,
you
I was
see
going
the way that man shut Alabama's water off?
I know, but you had to take Walt.
You got to build around Clayton. No, you didn't do that.
No, you didn't.
I did with Kahn, I did.
He did the best he could.
No, your team
Who
is
else
just. Your team is just
What am I
okay.
going to take? Who am I going to take instead of Kahn?
You don't have any
taking Uzan.
Howe is not a big.
Huh?
He's not a big.
Yeah, big enough.
That's what they tell
There he is.
Big fella. Hey, look, man, you want to see that? I've been fighting for my life over here.
What's up,
man.
Shamon?
They on my heels, man.
You got to sit down.
Yeah, sit down here. We'll sit down?
No, you got to stay. You got to stay. Okay. John, give him.
I'm going to tell y'all Shamon Williams stories. Man, come on. Please sit down.
All right.
He used to be cooking when I was in school. I'm talking about unguardable.
There's a lot of Carolina here, right here.
Yeah.
At that time, John, I happened to be a pro and you were just in college.
I don't care. I done had nightmares of him when he was in pickup.
He didn't take it easy on you boys?
He did not take it easy.
I'm not surprised.
But he put
not
that.
Surprised.
He put that in us. And I appreciate that. I told him to listen.
All right, here he is, Shamon Williams, Denver interim coach right now, University of Denver.
Yeah.
And Shamon, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I missed this one last night. Jackie and Marcus, we were together last night.
Okay.
So missed him last night, but I'm doing well. Very
Good.
blessed. Can't complain, man. What
All right, so I'm going to hit you right away here.
Well, go ahead, hit me.
I'm going to hit
Come
you
on,
right away.
We work together. You my
I
man.
know.
You can ask me anything.
What the hell's wrong with Carolina? What's going on?
I always got that
What is
question,
going
man.
on with He's like, hit me.
Listen, I told you
Hit
that.
me.
Listen, I was fighting for my life yesterday.
Okay. You need help. Shamon, you got to help your boy here.
Well,
I mean, we got Duke here. They're the favorite, and Carolina barely gets into the tournament.
Right.
And listen, we all love Hubert. I think we can all admit, there isn't a better
awesome person,
human being
for sure.
on the planet than Hubert Davis. We're
No
all
question.
rooting for him. But is this good enough for Carolina? That's what I would say. Like, come on, man. Just getting in the tournament isn't good enough for you guys.
Well, first and foremost, I would say that the expectation at Carolina is always high. There's not a time that it's not high. And regardless of who it is, be it myself, my sophomore year, or be it if you're talking about in the early 2000s or whatever the case may be, our expectation of who we are as a program is always high. So our standard is different than everyone else's. And so, you can always critique Carolina if we're not playing at that standard or at that standard. And so, I don't think it has anything to do with Hubert or whatever the case may be. Our standard is our standard. And if it doesn't meet that, whomever it is, this team happens to be coached by Hubert. My sophomore year, we were coached by Coach Smith, and we got knocked out. We didn't make the Sweet 16. Yeah. So I don't think it has, Hubert's the head coach right now, but Carolina's standard, it maintains throughout whomever the coach is. And so I'm not talking about Hubert because Hubert doesn't play any games. The players play the game. The one thing John said, put that in you.
Yeah.
It's got to be in you. When you choose to come to Carolina, there's an expectation, there's a standard. And you have to perform that way each and every day.
It's just
Period.
it's different now too, because when you guys went to Carolina, when you went to Marquette, there was something that, like, there was a culture, there was a, hey, we're gonna be there until we go pro, right?
Right.
Now it's different.
Well,
they don't have that.
I said when I was in school,
Carolina name doesn't
I'm gonna tell you, when I was in school, we got our ass whooped so much before the lights even turned on that it just would have never, it just wasn't gonna happen in real time. So, you know, that's what I can say from a player.
Yeah.
He would come in and I mean, rip us, beat us up, talk mess to us, say you're soft, have us, Coach Williams will come down, he's gonna let Shamon, y'all here to play, so, you know, that part of the culture too was something.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, are we still getting that in this day and age with so much player movement and so many moving parts with everything? Because I know exactly what you meant when y'all came in. Like, you could see that connection, and it's like it's the same way with us. Like, y'all Carolina guys, like, man, that was the big homie. He was making money when I was in school, and he was showing us how to get to the money and what we need to do to become pros. So, what is that lost in this day and age? I guess that's really somewhat the question.
I don't think it was lost in the day and age, because when John came, let's say we're using John, we're using Harrison, you know, Kendall, we're using that group, Zeller. I knew they were pros. I knew they were pros. Didn't know if they knew they were pros, but it was my job to make sure that they understood what it took to be successful at Carolina. If you can be successful at Carolina, you're going to be a pro. I knew you can look at John when he walk in the building, you know, hey, man, he can be a pro. A long-time pro. And, you know, it's our job to make sure that they have it better than us. You know, that's what I was taught. And so for me, it was like, you know, like you said, I was on them like wolves, but they knew I loved them. You know what I mean? It was no question. It was no, like, I go to war for them. You're not, first of all, you ain't going to touch him. You ain't going to touch him. That's first. You ain't going to do that. And you're going to treat them accordingly. But, you know, sometimes they don't understand what it is. A lot of times people look at Carolina and say, oh, it's Carolina. Yeah, it is Carolina, but there's a lot, like John said, it's a lot of underneath that goes on that has to happen. So, because guess what? Like John just said, he just said what you've been giving them hell, right? He said, you've been giving them hell. And that's what they had to understand. I'm in this with you. When you out here playing, people coming to me now. Shamon, like you just said, Shamon, what's wrong with him? Yeah, I ain't played at Carolina in 30 years. You know, my first Final Four was 30 years ago. What, 20, you know, so 27 years ago, I ain't played at Carolina. But guess what? I wear it on my sleeve. I wear it on my chest, and it means something.
And that's my thought. Like, is that going to continue when you go back? Both of you guys go back. You're looking at these guys a little bit different now, aren't you? Because it's like, you know they're going to be there for 8 months, a lot of them. They just got a kid, Henry Visar, okay, transferred from Arizona. He'll probably be there for, now again, not that Harrison Barnes people thought was going to be there for 8 months. He stayed 2 years. But all I'm saying is it's a little bit different now where these guys may not be wearing that Carolina blue the way you guys wore it.
Well, let me explain this to you. There were sometimes guys could have, you know, there was an era, there was some guys one and done. You know, what we had Brandon, one and done.
Brandon
you
Wright.
know? We had some guys that were one and done. But it's not how long you're there, it's what you're getting while you're there.
Like Kentucky had it this year. Kentucky, it was kind of really cool to watch what Mark Pope did, right? One of their own. He brings all these dudes in, all new, and like you could see the pride that they had in this Kentucky program this year. I haven't seen, now they won at a high level, that helped, but I haven't seen that in Carolina like that. Baycott, you had it. Obviously, Mondo was there for a long period of time, but I think it's hard to do. It's hard to do because...
Now, it's identifying kids. See, in today's era, you have a lot of kids that want to come to you because of certain things. It is my opinion that you have to have kids that want to be there because they want to represent you. Now, if I happen to give you some money and that come along with it, that's cool. But you got to want to come and want to be here.
Everybody wants those kids.
Huh?
But there aren't that many anymore, and
That's all right,
everybody
but
wants them.
Let me explain something to you. You just got to find. It's only 15 scholarships. You got 15 kids you got to find in the world that want to be in your program because they want to be in your program and wear what you wore. Because guess what? Talent is talent. Talent is talent,
it's
but
the intangibles
yeah,
now.
it's no question. Right. I wasn't a McDonald's All-American,
Right.
but my name was called on draft night. Yeah. Find the kids that's gonna run through the wall. Find them. They out there now. They out there. They might not be as sexy as everybody right now, but I tell you what, you find that kid that you want to. You know what? I believe in you.
Well, Cormac Ryan was that guy in a way 2 years ago, right? He came from a losing program.
Yeah.
People were like, okay. But, like, he was a huge piece of why they were successful because he did buy into it and they won. Like, it helps when
he was older. He understood, too. But the one thing that we're missing in basketball, a lot of people are missing in evaluating, performers and competitors. They look the same, but they're not. You can evaluate a kid and you look at him and you say, "Ooh, he's nice," but is he performing or he's competing? There's a difference between them. They look the same now. If you don't know what you're looking at,
you know who's competing? Cooper Flagg.
No question.
I mean, that kid. When you watch him, does it blow you away as much as it does the rest of us in terms of, again, the skill set we know.
Yeah.
But to me, it's how hard this kid plays every the same way.
Yes.
With his talent,
with his talent, you're
crazy, right?
And then he's younger too. But it seems as if he's playing for something bigger than what a lot of other people. Some people playing for money.
Yeah.
Some people playing just for because they want people to think they're sexy. When Cooper Flagg plays, he's playing with pride. Like my name's on the line. But whether if it were Duke, if it were North Carolina,
legacy,
if it were Houston, he's playing because my name's on the line. Because game of basketball can be taken away from you like this. Just like that. A lot of these kids don't understand it. And so what happens? You got some money. Okay, cool. That's not what makes it important, makes you the basketball player. It's the reputation that you have. It's what are people going to say about you as a player. You don't have to make it to the NBA to be a good player. People say, like I'm going to use a perfect example. Mitch Henson, head coach at Princeton. Yeah. When I see Mitch all the time, I'm like, boy, what's happening? That's my guy. Guess what? Played against Mitch twice in college.
Great college player.
No question. And had us on the ropes twice at Carolina. One up there in Princeton and down in Carolina. And the one thing that I really loved about Mitch, competitor. Competitor. Even when you watch his team, they compete. And so a lot of times in this game of basketball, we get enamored by a lot of stuff that really don't matter. For me, when you talk about success, you got to find that competitor and you got to find that kid that's playing with a sense of pride.
Easier said than done.
It is.
Does Cooper remind you guys of anybody? All you guys have watched a ton of NBA. He's kind of, I don't want to say a unicorn, but he does everything so well that it's hard to find a guy like him. Is there somebody that any of you guys can think of that you're like, you know what?
I mean,
he's got mixtures.
It's a Scotty Barnes-esque type guy, in my opinion.
Shoots it better though.
For sure.
At this stage.
For sure, but Scotty does a lot of what Flagg does. Now Scotty's a point guard, big guard. Puts on his Instagram, but the effect he has on the game is Scotty Barnes-esque to me. He's a max
I would say, listen, and I'm older than you guys. I'm older than you. Shimon, what are we? Shimon, how old are you?
I'll be 50 tomorrow.
All right, so me and Shimon are about
good,
the same.
Boy.
Tomorrow.
Good.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
I would say, and this is crazy I'm saying this, he's got a little bit of Larry Bird in him. A little bit. He passes the shit out of it.
When you see the stink in it, because
that's what
he's
he's a motherfucker. He's a motherfucker.
He's a competitor.
Yeah. Larry talked more shit.
Yeah.
Cooper's a better athlete, a better defender. Larry was a better shooter, a better passer. But there's a little bit there of they're both unbelievable all-around players that really had no weakness, no major weakness.
I think the best thing, they compete.
And they're white dudes who
they're
white
guys that compete.
Listen, I've heard it from all you guys when you say it. Like, sometimes when a white dude like that has it.
Yeah.
and you know you can't punk them and try to punk them. You've talked about this.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a cold white boy. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
he cold.
Right?
He
And
cold.
look,
What you calling?
Once the
He
scare
competes.
tactics wear off, you like, oh shit. You like,
That ain't gonna work.
Hey, look, and that's when they get the pass. He can play.
Yeah,
He can play.
no question. He can play. He can't take.
That's
He
where
can't
it
take
go.
nothing from him.
Yep.
Knipple competes.
Yeah, competes.
If you watch in the games, a lot of times in the second half, a lot of times games on the line, he is going to hit the floor. He's diving for balls.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he ain't saving himself. You know, like he's playing like this is it. You know, they play the game like this is my last possession, and I'm giving you everything that I have. And as basketball connoisseurs, you can appreciate that.
Duke win it all? I mean, I know this is hard for you.
I got Florida winning in my bracket, but I mean, Duke has
You
just
don't feel good, do you? Like, you don't feel like I have the same thing.
Oh yeah, I'm not like, oh my God, Florida's a lock. You know, Duke is.
Shimon,
a
pick Duke.
formidable
Come
team.
on.
What's that?
Pick Duke to win it all.
I don't really like. Is this on?
It's on. It's on. It's on.
I don't really like picking who gonna win it, because the best team don't always win it.
True.
Trust me, I've been here 3 times and I never won. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But what I am looking forward to is the competition tomorrow begins against Houston and Duke. Because let me tell you something. You know, we was talking about find those guys.
They got 10 of them.
Kelvin Sampson go and get them guys now.
Yeah.
You talking about a program now? He got a program now.
Names.
He go get them. Yeah.
He don't got no big
he
names,
got
but
that.
they compete.
They end up being big, John.
Yep.
They end up being big. They don't start off big, but they end up being big.
Right about that.
So that right there, I'm looking at. I'm really, really looking forward to watching that competition between those two teams, because both coaches and both staffs have done a great job in having players out there to compete. It's going to come to execution tomorrow.
It's funny. So I listened to Kelvin yesterday, and he spoke like a man that, honestly, I'm listening to him. I'm like, could this be it for him? 69 years old. He just was reflecting. And again, he may have another year, 2, 3 left. I don't think he's got more than like 2 or 3 left. But you could just feel like, man, how appreciative, how grateful. His road, right? His road. I mean, he and Bruce Pearl were both run out of college basketball for, number one, making too many phone calls. I know. How can you not laugh? How can you not? He did it at Oklahoma. He did it again at Indiana and was fired middle of year 2. Bruce Pearl was fired for having to recruit on a barbecue.
At a barbecue. Cookout action. Little grilling.
I mean, how ridiculous. But how cool is it to see now what those guys have been able to do?
Well, I'll say this. For Kelvin Sampson, I can speak on Kelvin Sampson to a certain extent because he's Native American. He's Lumbee.
Yeah.
My wife is Lumbee as well.
Really?
So, yes. And so, Lumberton, North Carolina, Pembroke, North Carolina, you know, like being down there and knowing what he is, like his family and my wife's family right across the street from each other.
Yeah.
So to know where he came from and those humble beginnings and what he identifies with and what he, and you know, like you should see my wife and my in-laws when they, you know, like, you know, there's Jesus and then there's Kelvin Sampson. You understand that? Jesus is first now. He's always first. But then there's Kelvin Sampson. And so to understand what he's done and where he is and what he represents and what he's had to endure, it's really, really great to see his success.
I agree.
And
because he was vilified.
Yeah.
He was vilified.
No question.
I mean, Greg Popovich saved him
Yes.
in a way by bringing him on and putting him behind I think it was second row at that point.
Yep.
Then, again, he goes with the Rockets. He thinks maybe I got a shot at an NBA head coaching job. Doesn't happen. People forget how bad this Houston Cougars program
for
was.
sure.
Yes.
He
Terrible.
made it sexy again.
Yep, and it made him into a perennial winner, man. So you can't speak enough to him. Obviously, just his track record speaks for itself.
All right,
Man,
if I ask
we'd love
you
to
guys,
see him get one.
let me ask you, rank. All right, we're gonna take a break after this, but before we go, rank the coaches 1 to 4 in terms of one game, not overall body of work. Who do you want for one game here in the Final Four? Go ahead, 1 to 4. Who we going with?
All talent equal?
Are we
All
doing
talent
it now?
equal.
Okay.
You just
Are we
want
doing
the
now?
coach. Forget about who they got. You
All
want the
talent
coach.
equal.
It might be to motivate. It might be to execute. Forget about recruiting. Because we're saying like
All
one
talent
game.
equal.
Go ahead.
Give me. I'm going Sampson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going John Shire. I'm going Bruce Pearl, Todd Golden.
Shire ahead of Bruce Pearl. All right.
All talent equal, 4 coaches. I'm going Sampson, Pearl, Golden, Shire.
Oh. Wow, you hear that? That's some Duke hate right there. Well, that is some Duke hate, Henson.
I mean, listen, you're getting lottery guys. I like with Bruce Pearl and Sampson. Think about their rosters.
No, they're listen.
Think about their rosters.
I'm fine with that.
Even Golden.
I'm surprised.
Who does Golden? What monstars does Golden have? As from a recruiting,
You're right.
from a
He did a
standpoint-
great job building this
Yes,
roster.
yeah.
Great job. All right, Shamon.
Sampson,
Yeah.
Shire,
Yeah.
Pearl, Golden. Now, if you want to know why, I can explain it, but I mean, Kelvin Sampson, if you got that, like John said, all talent, the way that he has his guys playing, if you got the best talent in the country and you got him playing now, he'll have 15 first rounders.
I feel like he actually, and I feel like he doesn't even want those top 20 kids. Like he doesn't do as well with them.
You have to identify.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to identify with what he is and what he wants.
Yeah. Which ones fit you?
No question. No question. Shire.
Yeah.
Shire is very meticulous in what he does. Shire is playing chess. Now I've watched him, because every time you're watching coaches, no matter who they are, you're watching. Shamon, how you gonna beat him? That's how I look at the game. How can I beat him? And so a lot of things that he's doing in the game and he's setting stuff up, he's very meticulous in what he's doing. And at times when he needs certain things, he executes and makes the right calls at the right times. I have to appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Really mature, too.
Yeah.
Really mature for a guy. And again, a guy who took over for arguably the greatest coach of all time.
What he does well is for guys that have played at a high level, you understand, to be successful, you have to make adjustments. Allen Iverson been killing me all night going right. I can't wait to look at the tape to make the adjustment. I got to send Chuck left. I got to try something different. I can't sit here and do the same thing expecting a different result.
Bruce Pearl did that when he was down on Michigan.
Yeah.
High pick and roll, come out here, Vlad.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't do it.
Barbecue chicken.
Yeah. Bruce Pearl is a hell of a coach, an awesome motivator, and an awesome person. I like Bruce Pearl. He lights up a room. You know what I mean? What he does have in his favor, he has a lot of older guys. So a lot of times when you have guys that are seasoned, some things you don't have to do. They understand what it takes and what it does. You know what I mean? So I don't want to use it as a crutch, but I have to call it what it is in this regard. And then Todd Golden's done a phenomenal job as well in coaching his teams and things like that. So you have to get here, you've done a great coaching job. But your question is, if you had all talent, because you got Kelvin Sampson and those guys playing at a high level, and you got the best players in the country. Some NBA teams might be in trouble.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, Shamon Williams.
My man,
thanks
thank
for
you
stopping
so
by.
much.
Great to see you
Love
as
you
always.
guys.
We'll be back after
Love
this. Field of 68 next.
Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you, so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com. ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today. College basketball fans, are you ready to take your hoops game to a new level? Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just trying to win your March Madness office pool, Rhythm is here to give you the edge this season. With data-driven predictions for every single college basketball game left on the schedule, Rhythm helps you maximize your bets. And as March Madness kicks off, Rhythm's insights will help you spot those plucky Cinderellas that you know are going to shake up the NCAA tournament. But that's not all. When Selection Sunday rolls around, let Rhythm's AI-powered bracket generator do the heavy lifting for you. This is the same AI tool that performed 35% better than the average ESPN bracket last year. And here's the best part. Rhythm pairs perfectly with our Field of 68 expert analysis, giving you the 1-2 punch that you need for the rest of the college basketball season. So don't wait. Download Rhythm today and get ready to see college basketball and your betting results in a whole new light.
Well, welcome back to Smoke Sky Bar here in San Antonio, live from the Final Four. Rob Dosser, Mike Latula, that's Jarrell McNeil over there, and the man that needs no introduction, the one and only Jeff Goodman. We are playing who he coached for again, because the game went so well yesterday. But part of the reason we're doing this, Jeff, is because we were, as a group, pretty terrible at this game. You like to position yourself as the foremost insider in the world of college basketball, as the guy that knows all the coaches, as the guy that is the best friend of every coach
Pressure's
in America.
on?
No. So the pressure is on. If you can't get every single one of these, we're going to have a problem.
Dosser, you and I have been to these events quite often, right, at night.
Mm-hmm.
And people come up and they introduce themselves to me, or they don't introduce themselves to me. They just come up and talk to me. What is the percentage of coaches that I know who they are after they leave?
This is true. My favorite thing to do when we are because for people that watching at home, like the way that these events go is there's like every company's got some kind of party that they invite you to, and it's a networking thing, and it's ways for coaches to get out and meet people, and media people like us to meet people and to kind of schmooze and mingle and all that kind of stuff. The Final Four Wednesday through Saturday is huge for that. So when we go to them, I follow around Jeff, and people will come up and shake his hand. And my favorite game to play is after they leave, say, what's his name?
Oh, do you wait till they leave?
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
What's his name
Oh,
again?
Johnny, you can't do that.
That's the game. That's what Todd. That's what Todd does to me.
Really?
All the time. We play this game.
Oh,
Same
that's
exact
cold.
game. You just ask him like, "What's his name again?"
Yeah. Good. I say all I say is,
so
what's his name? Who is that?
So
Dick Goodman,
embarrassing.
and it's I got no fucking clue.
Most of the time.
Like that is what he says. I got no idea.
The problem is a lot of these guys, they'll introduce themselves.
Who was
to
the guy that was just on the show?
That one I know.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the game. Our producer Dagan is in my ear yelling at me. If you actually wore your earpiece, guys, you would have Dagan in your ear yelling at you right now too. Is that why you're not wearing it?
I follow the rules.
Is that why you're not wearing it? Mike doesn't listen either. We knew Goodman wasn't going to listen.
I got weird ears, man. I got weird ears. They don't sit. It doesn't sit in my ear.
What earbuds do you wear then?
Just like the normal AirPod ones.
That's it. That's the only thing you do.
Creature of habit.
Fair enough. Good, Dagan.
Let's do it, Dagan.
Let's go. Who he played? Who he coached for? Jarrell, where'd you go with? Tennessee Tech?
Nope. Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
I think you're right. I knew it was one. I went with WKU. It's Eastern Kentucky.
A-Dubs.
A.W. Hamilton.
A-Dubs.
A.W. I'm sorry, man. I knew who you were. I forgot where you coached. Where was he at before this? Before that, because
he's been at EKU.
You thought that was Sundance Wicks?
Yeah, it looked a little bit like him.
I thought it was Terrence Oglesby. This one's a layup. UNCW, we all got it. All right, next up. What do we got next?
Non-con this year.
Yeah, it's. Hold on, let me think.
There's no way it's the one that I have. It was a UConn non-con game this year. That's a long college.
Well, the college changed names that
Okay.
I'm going with. The college changed names. So which one did you go with?
I went East Texas A&M.
Yeah, I got them both. Texas A&M Commerce, East Texas A&M. Is it right? Yes! The tulip! Let's go!
You guys know that. I watched that game. You know his name? No, I don't know his name.
There's no way that's his name.
Jared Van Rosenberg.
How come you didn't get it
Did
right?
he make that up,
I don't know what
Rob?
he looks like.
Did he make that up? Right?
Jared,
I'll admit, if I didn't see the UConn sweatshirt in the back, I would not have gotten that.
Jared,
0%
I just
chance.
want you to understand, man, you got two guys right here that really know ball, that respect the mid-major level of college basketball, all right? Not people like these two. If it's not high majors, they don't know who you are.
No, I don't
Jeff
got
Goodman
that-
doesn't
don't
know
got
what you
that
look like. You
cable
got two
package.
guys right here that
I know your
ball.
name, though.
Right here,
I know your
Latula.
school.
Right here,
I know your
Latula.
school. I know who you coach for.
Next up. I didn't know Southern Indiana was a Division I program.
As of last year.
My bad, Stan. Yeah. Albany. I'm going Albany. You said Albany?
I just said Albany.
Is it right?
I was losing his guess.
Imagine, yes. Imagine if we got that right. The Great Danes. Huh?
Did your brain go to Vermont first for some reason?
Yeah. Same thing.
That's where I went.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's not.
Yes, Becker's still there.
Well, since Rob doesn't want to host, it's Pacific.
Oh, it's Pacific, by the way. We all got it wrong.
All right, yeah.
We all got it wrong.
Who took Pacific? Who is it? Who's Pacific? Oh, yeah, Canadian dude. That's
Sweeney,
right.
if you know these, do you know them?
Throw in a towel. Throw in a towel.
It's hard. It's not NJIT.
Augustana. Is that what you said? Georgetown State? Youngstown State. Oh
my God.
No chance. Thank you. For the record, Dagan's father is off camera right now with 2 Miller Lights in his hands and got that one right.
Say Augustana?
I thought that's what he said. He tried to give me the answer. He said Youngstown State. I thought he said Augustana. Oh, I see Dagan's board. I saw Dagan's board. You got it right? How'd you know?
McLaughlin.
Did you cheat?
David
Green
McLaughlin.
jerseys, Ivy League. Right there.
How'd you know it was Ivy League?
I just
Could tell.
It just looked like an Ivy League guy.
I said it feels like an Ivy League.
He looks different.
It's a small
All right,
gym.
what else we got? Who he play for, Dagan? Who he play for?
Who did what?
Who he play for?
Who he coach for? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do NBA.
Would have been a safe guess.
Yeah, no clue. I'll write a question mark. Question mark.
I've got no
University.
idea either.
Who was it?
Grambling. Is it Grambling?
Oh, there you go. Of course.
Who?
Of course.
Lavelle.
Sorry, Lavelle. Can we do who he play for now?
Just name an NBA player.
Just bring up, yeah. Bring up,
know.
you know what? Name some guys that have put their names in the portal. Mid-major players that have put their names in the
All right,
portal.
can we pull the portal up?
Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we get who they are.
We got nothing to do. So let's pull the
Mid-major
portal
guys
up.
that have put their names in the portal. We got to figure
That's
out
what Rob wants to do.
who they play for,
That'll be hard.
where they leave.
Just look up.
Yeah,
one of
just
the
look up names in the portal. Yeah,
Figure it out.
Bennett
figure it out.
Stearns.
Bennett Stearns.
Who does he now
Bennett
play
Stearns
for?
Play for?
Oh gosh.
Who does he play for now?
Who's
Where
he?
are we?
No.
Mess up. What did he say?
I didn't say anything.
I thought you said something. They're all.
I jokingly said Bennett Stearns as
Yeah,
a joke.
Yeah, as a joke.
Yeah.
I know. I'm waiting for Rob. We're waiting to
Go
pull
ahead.
these up. So vamp while we pull them up.
All right, go ahead.
We're not ready. So you got to vamp.
I got a vamp.
Yeah, until
What does vamp mean?
talk.
He doesn't do that well.
Should we get
Just
Chris
talk.
Hughes? Should we get Chris Hughes
No.
on? Interview him.
Absolutely. No.
Hey, all right. So tomorrow we will be at 2 p.m. We're going to be live from Alibis for an hour. before the game. If you are heading that way, it is on the way to the Alamo Dome, which will be easy for you to be able to get to. We'll be live for an hour until 3 o'clock. Then we're going to head into the stadium. We're going to do our post-game show live from the Alamo Dome. At some point, it'll probably be about 30 to 45 minutes after the second game ends. We cannot go live there until the broadcast is done. But as soon as it's done, and as soon as Goodman finishes pretending like coaches want to talk to him, that players want to interview with him, that he is the most well-liked media member in all of those locker rooms, when he's done doing that song, talking about LaTulip.
Talking about LaTulip?
Definitely not.
Yeah, definitely talking about LaTulip. We will be live from courtside from the Final Four, which is those are some of my favorite shows when we're doing them there. You guys, you haven't been here with us yet, have you?
No. Not the Final Four. We did it.
You got to be prepared, guys.
We did it
You have
East.
to be prepared because after the final show, you're gonna see tears, real tears
That's
from Rob.
You're
gonna see real tears.
That's definitely not true.
That is true.
That's
I won't
definitely
see him.
not
I'm out
true.
tomorrow morning.
That's true.
Yeah, you're
I'm out
not.
tomorrow morning.
What happened?
I'm out tomorrow morning. Back home.
You're leaving tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Are you John Martin?
I'm not. I am not John Martin. That is John Martin.
The problem, we got to the bottom of it. I found out why John has to leave early. Jeff, did you hear this?
God.
Why he has to leave early?
No.
He didn't want to tell anybody. But look, I'm going to break the code of trust that we shared. So the reason why the reason why he's leaving early is because he ran out of vests. He only has 3 vests.
God.
He doesn't have any more vests that he can wear. So he has to go home.
Do you have that in every color? You went in red? Red.
So he did his radio show from our Airbnb this morning, guys, and I came in the house and he's doing the radio show and he's like, Rob, he's got the black vest on. He's like, I'm not feeling good, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the show. Like, I don't think I can do it. And then he walks into his room in the Airbnb and shuts the door. I'm like, man, he's really hurting. Like, this is during a commercial break of his 3-hour radio show. And then he comes back out wearing the silver. Is this silver or gray? He comes back out wearing the silver vest and he's like,
I was gonna say, come on.
I'm back, baby. I'm ready to go. All he had to do was change the vest. All he had to do was put on a different color.
I like the silver.
Silver.
It's clean.
Gray.
Gray. Oh, gray.
I mean, I miss the satchel. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the satchel.
He left the
It's
satchel
cool. It's
alone.
cool when
Up to the
Shamon
Vegas.
Williams does it, but when I do it, it's a problem.
What?
Shamon Williams had a
satchel?
fucking
He
satchel.
had a satchel?
Yeah, he had a satchel, but you guys didn't say shit.
'Cause
You
he
guys
looked
were on
good
my
in it.
nuts all week.
He could pull off a satchel.
Oh, I pulled it off.
You did not pull
Yes,
it
I
off.
did. Yes, I did.
You should have seen people in Vegas.
All right, find us tomorrow. We're going to be live at Alibis 2 until 3. We'll be back here at Smoke Sky Bar Sunday 4 to 7 p.m. Come hang out with us. Come have a dad water with us. And we'll see you guys here. The best damn taco ever, and that is true. It's brisket. It's delicious. LaTulip had 4 of them today. I had 3 of them yesterday. Jarrell.
I had 3 yesterday as well.
Jarrell's too healthy for that, man.
7 over the last.
Jarrell's too
24
healthy
hours.
for that.
I worked out this morning.
Jarrell had it.
But
Jarrell
I did
had it.
have some tacos, and they were fantastic.
Yeah, they are good. So come here, Smoke Sky Bar. Check it out with us. We'll be here live Sunday, 4 to 7 p.m. See you guys here.